man.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Let's Talk About April, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, I'm super excited. I love what I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, too bad I ain't get paid for this, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Sorry.
I love what I do. I genuinely do. I be super excited. When I have guests. I like to be in the position of as if I'm a part of the audience, right? That's why I don't dig too deep and I don't ask a lot of questions in the beginning. I like to be just a surprise and intrigued um, as an audience, right? And so this evening, let me introduce my guest. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let me do it. Yeah, we're gonna do that for you. We're gonna do that for you. Okay, so over decades, C.D.O.T has helped shape Richmond's culture through journalism, media, music, public relations, as well as artist development. C.D.O.T has gone way beyond impact, as far as beyond the media aspect of what he does. This man, let me explain it to you. This man is an advocate for children. He's a mentor for artists. It appears that he leans towards developing the artists and making sure that they use their voice and their gift as they see fit. So thank you for your service, brother. Give it up for C.D.O.T. C.D.O.T.
Thank you,
I
thank you,
have to do
thank
the little thing when you start like, clap, clap, clap. I think I invested in it. I just like that was perfect like that. But introduce yourself to those that may or may not know you. I'm sure I might have missed something. I know you are a father. And so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to introduce yourself so that nothing is missed.
I go by the name of C.D.O.T. Been in the game 10 years. Just music relations, public relations, multimedia journalism. I've written articles, I've done podcasts, I've done radio. So just been in it for a while and just trying to push the culture.
Okay. So what got you into it? Like what was
Uh,
it? Is there any musicians in your family or what? Why is music
mhm.
media your passion?
um, as a kid, I was super influenced by hip hop, rap, dancing, super Michael Jackson fan.
Okay.
Michael Jackson died. I was super, impersonating Mike and things of those natures. And then it just evolved. And my first real job, well, kind of like job in the industry, I
Mm-hmm.
was an intern for allhiphop.com. So I started writing
Oh,
articles for them. And then after that, I went into the journalism team at my high school, and it just advanced from there. And I just kept going, meeting people, networking with people, and I just haven't stopped. So
mm-hmm.
this is high school,
Since high school. Okay, so
yeah.
let's go back. So where are you born and raised?
Richmond, Virginia, South
Okay,
Side. No, I'm
Southside.
playing. South Side.
Okay.
South. Yeah,
So,
born
so,
in
so I'm,
Virginia.
I'm still. I feel like y'all like really educating me on Richmond, and I'm not from Richmond. I was born and raised in DC, but I have so many
Okay.
Richmond artists that I'm
Okay.
learning. The different quadrants and sections and everything, and so
Right.
many of y'all are really from the same quadrant.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a
Yeah.
neighborhood, right? It's just really more so the same quadrant. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
East
Just
Side
this.
where?
So like the way that the city is divided, you have the south side, the north side, the east end, and the west end. So
Okay.
I'm from the south of the James because everything revolves around the James River. So
Okay.
I'm from the south of the James. So
Okay.
south side,
Okay.
yeah.
So tell me about your family dynamics. Are you the only child? Big
Yeah, I'm
family?
an only child, only
Only child.
child. But I grew up around. I had a lot of I had godparents, so I got a strong God family foundation. So that's kind of where my music influence comes from. My god brother, my god sister, they kind of put me on to music that I listen to. That's why I listen to Jay and Jadakiss and Cameron
Mm-hmm.
because of my brother. And then I had a sister that she's like 5 years older than me, 4 years older than
Okay.
me. So that's why I get my Wiz Khalifa and the Young Money
Uh,
and even like B2K just did a verses. I remember visually seeing a B2K poster in her wall, on her wall as a
uh,
kid. So I have a lot of influences as far as music. And then my mom is older, so that's what Anita Baker and the starter rap. So like I know who Biz Markie is. I know who the Fat Boys is. And I kind of grew up with my mom put me onto that at a very young age. So my foundation in music is kind of it's very, it's very different because I had different
I would say it
generations.
sounds pretty diverse.
Yeah, so I listen, and I also my godfather, he loves Parliament and the
Mm-hmm.
Funkadelic. So like I'm a big fan of George Clinton and all those type of people
Mm-hmm.
too. So my influence with music, it comes from a lot of different eras, and I just pieced it together and just kind of
Mm.
you know came up with my
So,
own.
so can you recall? So, let me ask you. So, were you one of those kids? Were you like in a room, like
Mm,
vinyl, seeing
yeah,
yourself DJ type? Like you was one of those kids, headphones on in the bedroom, just
I was more of a dancer. So the
oh, okay.
music that I was listening to was more to dance to because I was
Mm-hmm.
really a dancer before it was cool to rap, it was cool to dance first.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So so I was into the dancing realm, and then once rap became the cool thing to do, that's when I kind of ventured
Transition.
over. Yeah. But I
Okay.
even
So,
like go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Even like in preschool, my mom had because the Fat Boys, they got the movie. It's a movie where they help an elderly guy. It's a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But even watching that as a kid in preschool, I started beatboxing. So like I
Mm-hmm.
know how to beatbox. You know what I'm saying? Like still to this day, just from watching that and being a fan
Right.
of that. So that's kind of that's like real, that's 80s hip
Oh
hop.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then, like I said, my god brother Avery, he the reason why I still listen to the game. I still listen to Jadakiss, like
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, Dipset, all of that. Jay. So yeah, my influence is very versatile
Mm-hmm.
for this game.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, Michael Jackson. Who else are you impersonating dancing?
Um, I like Chris Brown when he came out. I
Okay.
was a fan of Chris Brown. Who else? Just we that early 2000 eras where you have all the dances, the Cat
Mm-hmm.
Daddies, the Dougies, it was so much. Soldier Boy is a big person at this time. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot more dancing, whereas now you don't really have that. I mean,
Right.
they're trying to bring it back, but you don't really have those. It was a dancing movement at
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
time. So yeah,
It
I
almost
was I
like it
was
had
heavy
its
into them.
own thing. Whether
Right,
you were dancing as a hip hop artist or dancing as an R&B, they had their
right,
own space. And now
right,
it's kind of
right.
like sporadic. You might get a dancer here, there. For the most
Exactly.
part, everybody else is just vocal. They either
Right,
rapping or they singing. I
right,
get that. I get
right.
that. And so, were you one of those kids that your family was your first audience?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
My god sister always tells me stories of me. They dressing me up as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and I'm rapping and I'm dancing. And I was like entertainment to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, full circle now what I'm doing because I've always been that kid or that,
Mm-hmm.
that person in my family.
I think that's always phenomenal when one can pursue an idea or a
Mhm.
passion at a young age and continue that on. Like
Right.
most people tend to pivot at some point,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And so I always kind of find it fascinating because it shows a certain level of commitment and
Right.
passion for that, whatever that thing is that you're continuing to pursue.
Right.
So, would you say like you just kind of fell in love with music? Was it just so much around you that you were consumed with it?
I just think I fell in love with it because my mom is not super big on music. I mean, she did put me on to some stuff, but she wasn't somebody that would play music around me and that. That kind of came from my god siblings. So I think, like you said, I just really fell in love with it and just never stopped, gravitating towards it. So
Yes, that's what's up. Okay, so is there any competitions you're in elementary?
I did the talent show. We did
The
Michael
talent show.
Jackson for the talent show. We did You Rock My World.
Okay.
And actually, one of the guys that was on there, he's a big time producer for Hitmaker now. So
Oh, okay.
he kept it
He kept
going
you going
too.
too.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that in fifth grade. But that was really it. I hadn't done no competitions or nothing like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay.
And then, like
Okay.
I said, I pivot over. Middle school me is when I start like trying to rap at lunch tables and
Okay.
battle and all of that too. So I have that in my history too, even
Mm-hmm.
though I never put out a record or never wrote anything or never, been a musician or a rapper, I do have the experience of
Mm-hmm.
battle rapping and rapping in front of people and all of that too.
Okay. Which I'm sure contributes to your mentorship. and helping
exactly.
artists develop because you had the experience,
Right.
right? So how was that only child? Were you spoiled rotten?
Nah,
What?
I wasn't spoiled rotten. I think it was cool. I'm
Mhm.
just used to being by myself. But I also, like I said, I also had a lot of extended family too. So I was
Mhm.
the only child, but I always had extended
A lot of
sisters.
family around.
Yeah. So I was always, I still got sisters to this day, you know.
Okay.
So yeah.
So were you more so protected? Was you like on the hip of mommy all the time? Were you kind of that
Nah,
mama's
I
boy
wasn't.
type?
Nah, I wasn't that. I was around, I was around them, but I wouldn't say I was the most. I was always the youngest, but I think that's kind of what makes me tough today, and just my maturity. It speaks to my maturity too, because I didn't really have a lot of kids around. It was more so, you know,
Most people were
20,
older.
yeah, 20 years old, 10 years older than me, 15. So it's like my mindset is more of a mature mindset because of who I was around as a kid. I didn't really wasn't around a lot of kids. You understand?
And
So
so those immature conversations and experiences
exactly.
that we tend to have when we got a bunch of siblings or around
Right.
a lot of kids, you're really hearing conversations that's kind of
Right.
above your pay grade, right?
Exactly.
So you
Exactly.
picking up language and information that most
Mhm.
kids probably wouldn't.
Right. Right. But like I said, I
Okay.
think it speaks to my maturity too, how I can handle myself in different spaces and, talk a certain way too, which helps with being in media. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think not only does it help, I think that's kind of, it gives you an edge,
right,
right? Especially once they realize how old you are, depending on what you're
right,
doing. That kind of
right.
gives you an edge. Like, oh man, you only 25, or you
Yeah, yeah,
28
yeah.
talking like that. Like it becomes
Right.
more impressive versus
Exactly.
somebody in their 40s speaking with
E-
such eloquence and articulating. It's almost like you should be talking like that, right? So,
Exactly.
so that's
Exactly.
good. That's
I
good. That's
agree.
impressive. Okay. So it sounds like you come from some pretty good stock.
Yeah, I think so. I
You
think
think
so.
so? You think came from
I
some good
think so.
soil? That's
I
good.
think so.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. That's good. And so, all right, so let's go here. So you're saying elementary was just kind of fun, entertaining the family.
Hmm.
Um, did a few things in school as far as fashion shows or whatever competitions. So,
Hmm.
but you're
Hmm.
saying middle school is when you then begin to get more into actually
Hmm.
rapping and writing and
Yeah.
battling. So, what was that transition? Did you see
Uh,
some people battling and you say, you know what, I'm gonna do that, or
I
what turned that light on?
I think it was like I said, the uncool of dancing. Like nobody was really dancing no more. Cause you talk about me in middle school. This is when Chief Keef and all the drill era. This is when that comes to play. So now everybody wants to rap. It's not cool to dance like the Jacob
Mm-hmm.
Lattimores and all the Chris Brown. Chris Brown is older at this time, so
Mm-hmm.
these people start going out. And now you have someone like Chief Keef who's more violent in his music and it's more, expressive. And he's closer to our age at the
Mm-hmm.
time because he was so young. So that's when everybody wants to start rapping. So it just kind of
Right.
that's really what it was. And like I said, in preschool, I used to make little rap songs around, at the school or whatever, and beatbox and one little liners and stuff. So I knew a little bit, but that's when
Mm-hmm.
I started practicing and we started sharing rhymes and see, who was dope and who was not and all of that. So that's where that comes to play. And
So it's like it was a shift in the music culture,
exactly.
and you really just kind of
Adapted.
went with the direction of where hip hop or
Mm,
R&B was going.
right.
So is there anyone in your middle school, high school time where you
Mhm.
started evolving into music and media that's still kind of in your circle right now?
Yeah, I got a friend too. He's a producer too. He produced a lot of the RVA drill records. His
Okay.
name is Three Times Did It. That's my
Okay.
homie. That's somebody that was really with me when I was rapping back in the day. Cause he's one of those people too that be like, man, I wish you would have rapped. The media
Uh,
stuff cool, but I wish you would have rapped. So yeah, he's somebody that was around me. But it's a couple people. I mean, a lot of people, of course, came and went around that time.
mm-hmm.
Um, the rapper Lil Socket, who just came home for being incarcerated. He was in middle school with me as well.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it's a lot of people that came around, and then some
Mm-hmm.
people, everybody raps now, so it's not
Right. Yeah. Literally everyone.
So
Yeah.
when I was doing it, it wasn't cool. Like nobody was rapping.
Mhm.
But now,
It
so
was
it's
really
people
just
that
something fun to do. It was more like a hobby.
exactly
Mhm.
right. But now everybody's doing it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Um, and I asked about whether you had some friends back there because I think that's there's beauty in that when you can kind of
mm,
have a really immature, premature experience and then have those people around and say, you know what, I can remember when you was beating on trash because I remember when, you know,
right,
when your
right,
rhymes was corny or whatever the situation was. You know, I think that that's a blessing because a lot of us don't have that, right?
right.
It's like, okay, we came up, but they was kind of doing their thing. I was doing my thing. And so for
Mm,
somebody to be able to remember and can recall the history to know, nah, I can see
yeah,
where he came from. Yeah, that's kind of a big
right.
deal. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So
It's
now you're
dope.
saying, so by high school,
Mm-hmm.
you decided that, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, well, for real, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just
Okay.
was, a high school student. I knew I love rap. I knew I love hip hop. The owner of all hip hop is actually my cousin. So yeah, I didn't say that.
Oh.
So he took me to New York with him I want to say one summer, and just kind of showed me what he does, as far as the media side, and I just fell in love with it because I never wanted to be in front. I've always kind of been somebody
Mm,
that, like I
in
said, I
back.
had the talent, but I like to, I don't really like to be out there a lot. So it was a cool way of still being a part of the culture, still having impact, but not being so much in the front like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really enjoyed it. And it was just a cool experience, being
Yeah.
backstage, meeting people that never thought you would meet, or seeing people that you never thought you would see. Like I met Lil Durk. I met
Yeah.
Young and May. This before she blew up,
Mm-hmm.
We was backstage and Nas performed, things like that that you just never even knew, that was a job that you could do this, and it's kind of cool. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a dope experience. And then after that, that's kind of when I started interning for him and really just kind of putting them on to what I had going on because I'm younger, so I was putting them on to the new music. Who's the new guy? Who's the new person? And that's when I started. He taught me how to write, and just kept going from there.
Mm. So will he be that most influential person for you?
Yeah, as
When,
far as media, yeah, for sure.
mm-hmm.
Because for him, he's done it. He's been in the game 30 plus years, so it's like he's already he's the blueprint, and
Mm-hmm.
I have I can call him and text him anytime.
Direct
So
access. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people don't have that. Even when something happens in media, that's who I call and text to confirm. A lot of people don't have those type of resources. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just privileged to have it, and just his mentorship, his game, and just bringing me around it, so I could see it for myself, see
Mm-hmm.
that it's possible too. Like I
Right.
feel like that's what a lot of kids need just in general. That's what I don't want to get on my high horse, but I talk about that with Richmond rappers that have all these success and have these accolades, but they don't come back and pour into the community
Mm.
because a lot,
Gatekeepers.
yeah, and I just hate it. I always talk about it because I know people that, maybe are in, the hood or whatever, just to see somebody that has a Grammy or has this or
Yeah.
knows for real, just to see them and hear them is motivation enough.
Very
Just
much
for
so.
you, just your appearance, because to them, they don't even think it's possible. They think it's not possible at all.
Mm.
So I always said that if I make it to the heights of the highs and I get the Grammys and I get this, I always want to come back and pour into the kids and just show them that it's possible to do this, no matter where you from. I'm from Richmond too, because they feel like Richmond. They're like, yeah, it's
Mm.
nobody gonna make it out of Richmond. But I just want to, just to show that it's possible. You know,
Mm. So would you say that's one of your ultimate goals?
yeah, yes,
Grammy
yes.
level? Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Grammy level. I want to get to those levels, but I don't want to get there and, become bougie and stop
Mm.
answering phone calls and not be able to do a podcast with you. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I want to
Right.
still show
You
love
still
to
want to
the
have your
people.
pulse to the community. Still want
Right.
to be
I'm not.
reachable and approachable. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to just I can get on Breakfast Club and this and that and this and that, but I don't do an interview with you
Mm-hmm.
because now I got a
Mm-hmm.
publicist and it's a
Right.
hundred. That I don't even want to get to that point. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Well, I'm glad I got you now, and so I'm a part of the history now too. So, I
Right.
remember one day I'll be like, yeah, I interviewed him a few years back. Yeah, so
And
be
we'll
all
do it
excited.
again. We'll do it again
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna switch up. I'm not.
And
So
so,
yeah.
what makes you certain of that? Like, what part of your character you think
Uh-huh.
will keep
Grounded.
your boots on the ground, so to speak, and keeping a pulse on the community?
I think just how I was raised. I was just big, heavy raised on morals and integrity. So it's just like
Mm-hmm.
that's just kind of like that's like my whole MO anyway,
Mm-hmm.
just pushing morals. So I just know I won't change. I just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm really certain on, giving back and showing back to the people that already rock with me when I was a
Mm-hmm.
nobody, you know.
Right. And
So
you
yeah,
already doing it, it sounds like, right?
right,
So it's
right,
really sounds like it's really a matter of just keeping up the momentum and staying consistent, not
right.
doing something that you've never done before. I mean,
Exactly.
just even being in a position where you are assisting artists in
Hmm.
development, you
Right,
know,
right, right,
mentorship, like you're already doing
right.
that. Right? Which I think is great because sometimes, especially nowadays, and I know it's just, we live in a different time, like being self-consumed is the easiest thing to fall into nowadays. It
That's true.
really is. And
That's
so I
true.
love it when I hear other people in the midst of pursuing their passion, they're
Helping
also
others.
making time to also assist and bring others up and not just come along with me for the ride, get a camera,
Right,
but no, develop them,
right, right,
help,
right,
help get them to a place where now they're more polished,
right.
more presentable, and then they're able to, because I truly believe that the whole idea of becoming a product of your environment, that
Mm,
can very much come from the individuals you surround yourself with. It's not just
exactly.
about a community of people and a housing environment. It could be the
Right,
guy that's always to your left. It could be the guy, your right hand man guy, the guy's always going on taking moves with you. She is beginning to learn from her environment, which it sounds like you are the environment for a lot
right.
of people. How do you feel about that? Is that pressure?
Nah, I don't think that's pressure. I mean, like you said, me being the only child and stuff, I've always kind of moved a certain way where,
Mm-hmm.
I did things my own way. I don't smoke or drink. And that's something I stood on. And I'd be around everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around, those certain areas and those certain people, but people have enough respect for me because of how I carry myself. I've never been, clowned or nothing like that. So I've
Mm-hmm.
always kind of moved like that and had a
Mm-hmm.
very, confident and self-awareness of myself.
Right. I appreciate you sharing that. And no shot to nobody. It's not the end of the world if you do
Yeah, it's
indulge
not.
in
Yeah,
activity,
yeah. So
but
I
it does
salute it.
show a
Do your
certain
thing.
level of discipline.
Exactly.
It definitely shows a certain level of, again, that soil that you come from. Because
Hmm.
most times it's how we're raised and what's embedded in us that keeps us consistent in that area of discipline.
Right. Right.
And so that's phenomenal to especially in this level of business. Like we got to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You got to be honest. In
Yeah.
the little games, like you in the area of business where it's
Mhm.
easy access. Taking a
Hey,
shot ain't nothing, right?
it ain't nothing. It
It's
ain't
being
nothing.
passed all around you, I'm sure, right?
Right,
At
of
times, and
course.
being able to maintain a level of integrity is pretty impressive,
Mm.
to say the least. Um, okay, so your internship. So, how did that come about?
It was just after that trip, my cousin, I think he just really understood that I had my ear to the streets, as he would say, as
Mm-hmm.
far as what was coming out and what was hot. So he offered the internship and I just kind of did my thing with it, did a lot of articles, maybe put him on to people he wasn't aware about and stuff I had seen, especially like the drill stuff because like I told you, I was there from the start of it, so I could tell you
Mm-hmm.
anything about the whole drill movement and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it just came from that, and then the school I ended up going to because I switched high schools. They had a journalism club, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, that's when I started doing interviews and started I anchored at the show and all of that. I did a lot of stuff with the
Oh, okay.
journalism. So you can even People can find it on YouTube if you
Still
do your
there.
stuff. Yeah, it's still there. When I was in high school, me interviewing students, me interviewing business owners, principals, nurses. So I've done that as well too. So yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So
Mhm.
coming from you mentioned God fearing, right?
Right.
So you have these godly principles that you've been
Hmm.
raised around and you built up on and you maintain them on your own as a young adult, it sounds like. So
Right.
doing that whole shift in the culture of music is how I want to describe it. Like how did that how are you able to maneuver
Hmm.
authentically
Right.
with that level? Because I mean, I'm pretty youthful, but I know I got you at some age, so I can remember like what. I
Yeah,
mean,
it was
okay,
crazy.
I get the Scarface. Like I still love Scarface. Okay, like,
Yeah,
but
Scarface, one of the ones.
so we've had our
Yeah, you
fair
had it.
share of
Right.
gangster rap and things like that, right?
Right.
And so,
Right.
but that was different. You know, it's like, wait a minute, we jumping
It
locations,
was,
they pulling up. Like, hold on,
yeah,
this real?
it was super real. It was super real. I don't know. I think for us, like just like for you all, it was super real, and people just gravitated towards it. And then you
Mm-hmm.
look at it now. You look at even look at Keith when he first started. You would think he would be in a position where Lil Durk is now, where he first started. And you look at now, 10 years later, he's in a whole. He's chilling. He's
Mm-hmm.
out the way. So it just kind of that speaks to growth too, though. Just
Uh,
how people
that's the
grow
point. Mm-hmm.
and how they
And evolve.
from how they
Mm-hmm.
yeah from how they start. So I just think it was just the time period and how young we was because we was similar to their age, so we really gravitated towards it. And
Mm-hmm.
it was so many factors to it because they it was them and then who they was beefing with. So you got to know about them. It was like a storyline. And
Mm-hmm.
now you look at 10, 15 years later, a lot of them dead and in jail. So it's sadness. Now, the mature me is
Mm-hmm.
sadness, but when we were younger, we really enjoyed, what was going on.
Mm-hmm. I guess I was just wondering whether there was a sense of maybe losing hope in the hip hop community because the older generation was
That's how
hip
they
hop is
felt.
dead,
That's how
so
they
I was
felt. Yeah.
wondering, and just based on the space you were in and the
Hmm.
goals you had for the things you wanted to do, I was
Right.
wondering when you witnessed that shift, did you feel like, oh man, like this is gonna ruin the culture or music, or you
Well,
didn't
I
have any of those fears or concerns?
no, cause so my the way I fell in love with hip hop I started with loving drill, and then I went back and started
Mm,
loving Nas, and started loving
gotcha.
Jay, and started loving, the essence of it. So that's how it was for me, but just because of my age range. So like high school me is when I started going back and doing the homework, like, oh, this is who the guy is. This is, so
Mm-hmm.
and so. This is who like I knew the records, but now you start to listen to the albums and why they are
Mm-hmm.
important. So
Mm-hmm.
my journey for hip hop is different. So that was like my first introduction, like really soaking it in and rocking with it heavy was the drill era because I was a part of
Mm,
it. I felt like
right,
I
you
was
were
a
the
part of it.
part of it based on the age.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay.
Right.
And so it's not like you came from Nas to Trick. You kind of,
Ex-
when
Yeah,
that was your
started there
era, you
first.
kind of double back to get more history,
Exactly.
understanding them.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because when I was in like middle school, high school, I mean middle school, elementary school, I was just listening to what my older siblings were listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like the first time I was listening to something I was listening to. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That I like, that I seeked out. I remember putting my sister on the Lil Durk, and she was like, "Who is Lil Durk?" Like Lil Durk, the hardest. I still feel like that now. I still love Lil Durk to this
Mm-hmm.
day. So, even with my top five, I got all these, lyrical rappers, but I put Dirk in my top five because that's for me. He been around for 10 years. So I've seen his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
That's somebody that, I still rock with today. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So, was there any life experiences for you that
Mhm.
made certain level of music so relatable?
Um, I mean, middle school, like the environment I was around, it was getting serious. People started joining crews and, drugs and all that extra stuff. But I was kind of on my way out because after high school, I left.
Oh,
So
okay.
So I think that's kind of like even with the drill music, everybody was influenced. Everybody had crews
Mhm.
now, after they listen to Chief Keef, now they
Right, exactly.
OTF and all these crews. So I think that's kind of was spoke to a lot of it as well too.
Hmm. So even though it wasn't your firsthand experiences, it was the
Yeah.
environment, and
Right.
because of what was witnessed, that is what allowed it to be relatable. Hmm.
Exactly.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So doing this internship, what is one of the most prominent things that happened that helped solidify where you know you was headed in music? Was it somebody you met, and opportunities that
Yeah.
you got
I think just like meeting people, like, I met
in general?
yeah, like Dirk, I told you. It's even full circle. I met Rhapsody when she just got signed to she was signed to Rock Nation. She was just signed, and I
Mm.
didn't care. She did a whole concert. I was young, didn't know nothing about her, didn't care. And now I met her at Dreamville last year, and I
Uh,
froze. I froze because I'm such a fan today because of
mm.
the Eve album. I literally was couldn't speak when I saw her. So it just the full circle of just being young and not really tapped in, and she performed, just got signed, like a big deal. And I'm not even paying attention to when I saw her at Dreamville and lost my mind. I couldn't even speak. And she was talking to me regular, like, what's up? How you doing? And I was just like,
Yeah.
you know. Shout out to
But I'm
Rap
sure
City.
all of that gave you hope, right?
Right.
And it kind of goes back to what Sanki was saying. This was your uncle that get
No,
that?
my cousin. My
Your
cousin.
cousin. And
Mhm.
so it sounds like, based on what you were saying earlier, in reference to why you're going to make sure you don't gatekeep, you're going to make sure you keep your pulse, because he showed you that it was possible. He didn't just tell you,
Exactly.
he showed
Exactly.
you. And so
Exactly.
now it goes from him showing you to now you're doing your thing as you described. Now
Right.
you're meeting people. Now this is not just becoming believable. Now this is obtainable.
Exactly.
And because you had that experience,
Mhm.
it's now just as important to make sure other
Someone else has.
individuals, whether they in your community, your family, or just people you know,
Right.
um, in your social circle, you know
Right.
the importance of giving them the opportunity to kind of come behind the veil. Because that's what it sounded like he did.
Right.
He kind of
Right.
pulled you
Right.
behind the veil.
Right.
And
And
so,
I
I feel like I just get to know people so quick on these interviews. And so, because you mentioned a moment ago about how, okay, you started playing around with it, writing and this, that, and the third. But then
Mhm,
once you got the internship, you got more experience behind the scene, and you
mhm.
realize you actually prefer to be behind the camera, the table, so to
Right,
speak, than in
right,
front of it. Right?
right,
What is it? Is it more of a personality thing, or you just enjoy media and journalism more than being lyrical or being
right.
seen?
I think it's more of a personality thing. I
Mm,
don't really like to be center of attention all the time. Like I can do it. Because like you understand, I've been doing it for 10 years.
yeah.
So I can do a podcast. Like we've done live podcasts with the podcast I'm a part of. Shout out to Intermix. So I can do that. I can host. I'll be on stage. So
Mhm.
I'm not afraid of it,
Right.
but it's not what I like to do. Um,
Hmm.
So once I saw the journalism route, and I was like, oh, I could do this. I talk to people all the time. I have a type of character where I can talk to people. I could do that,
Hmm.
interviews and all of that stuff. So I think it just was easier to just go into. Whereas with
Hmm.
rapping, people, when you rap, people really look at your life. They pay attention, every move. If you
Hmm.
become a star, it becomes more serious and becomes a little bit more personal because people,
Very much
even if
first.
they right, even if you don't do interviews, you're personal in the music. So
Hmm.
it's like it's still personal. Whereas if I'm interviewing somebody, I don't have to be that. I can kind of, I just do
Right.
my thing. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. No, I get that. Um, okay, so it sounds like with mentorship,
Mhm,
journalism, and just the whole idea of media and being behind the table,
mhm.
that comes with putting people's dreams on your shoulders. Do you kind of feel that you
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
responsible for a lot of people's goals and aspirations?
yeah. I felt that. I mean, I feel that now, but I've managed people too. and
Mm,
it could, I don't recommend.
yeah.
Just depends, but yeah, I don't recommend because a lot of people, like you said, put that pressure on you. Their whole career is on you, and
Mm-hmm.
they not doing the work. There's people out here that
Mm-hmm.
want you to do it. They ain't doing nothing, no
Right.
records, no nothing. So
Because they kind of feel like that's your job.
yeah,
They just
especially if
supposed to
I'm
rap and sing and dance, but they don't supposed to really do no
yeah,
media or anything else aside from just actually being the performer.
that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. You got to put the work in. Just like with me, I've put the work in. I didn't just sit around and ChatGPT didn't write one didn't even
Right.
exist. It didn't write no articles for me. So you gotta put the work in. You can't just rap
Mm-hmm.
and sing and even if you're doing that, you gotta be consistent with it. You should write every day. That's what I tell artists. Write every day. See what you can come up with, just so to keep the brain
Right. Keep
going.
them juices going. Yeah, definitely. Exactly. I don't even you got to ever put it out. Yeah,
Exactly.
keep that creativity flowing. Hmm.
Right.
So you mentioned of you would kind of transition out of the community when it started getting a little more
Mhm.
rough and difficult in the environment. So after high school, what was the next step after high school?
After high school, I went to college for mass communications. I actually started off in culinary. I got a culinary background too. People don't
Oh,
know about
okay,
that.
okay.
So I had my even in high school, I did my class ring has a media side and has a culinary side because I did all
Oh,
my
sweet.
serve safe and food service and all that because my mom caters. So I come from a
Oh,
culinary type of background. But I started off in culinary, then graduated with mass comm and just kept it going. I went to community college first, and then I went to state, Virginia State,
okay.
um, and and that's when COVID hits. So COVID hits and
Mm,
just messes up everything. But I took advantage of it because I had done the all hip hop stuff. I knew people, but I only really knew them on social media as far as
mm,
Richmond. 'Cause I was tapped in on the hip hop stuff, but as far as Richmond, I didn't have a name. People didn't know who I was.
mm,
So what I started doing during COVID, I started doing these online Instagram live interviews. So I started interviewing artists all over Richmond during COVID, and that kind of boosted my name up where people knew
mm.
who I was. And that's how I have the connections I have today
Now,
in Richmond
mm,
because of that. Because I didn't, like I said, I had done all hip hop stuff, but nobody in the city knew me. Because all hip
mm.
hop, is in New York. So nobody in the city knew who I was, knew
You
what
know
I
you got New
did.
York edge to you though, right? You do know
You
that,
think
right?
so?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
definitely do.
yeah, that's crazy. But that's what got me that Richmond stamp,
Mm,
doing those Instagram live interviews because people even still talk about it today, even though that was about 6 years ago now.
mm,
A lot of people still come up to me and talk to me about that today, or people I interviewed. Even Mac Benwinnet, rest in peace to Mac Benwinnet. He was a
mm,
Richmond Southside artist who passed away maybe about 2 years ago, I guess now. When I first met him in person, that's the first thing he said to me. Like, yo, I
mm,
remember you did them IG live interviews. I was trying to get
mm.
one. I was like, that's crazy because I don't even know who was watching,
Right.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So
Like
yeah,
consistency is key, man. I be trying like I
yeah,
don't care what your genre is, what your sector of business is, whether
mhm,
you entrepreneur, social worker, like you got to be
right,
consistent in what you do.
right.
Because you, especially nowadays, you never know who's watching. And
You
all it
never
takes
know.
is the right person to say, because here's the thing, I remember you. That's the
Okay.
key right there.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember you. Not
Right.
I saw you, I see you.
Yeah, I
I
remember.
remember you, right? And that
Right.
denotes some level of history of them
Exactly.
being there, whether they was watching you closely or not. And that's kind of, and ultimately, I think that's kind of what we should be kind of hoping, no
Mm,
matter what level that person is, because that should be a reminder for us that, dang, okay, I ain't know
right.
people over there even knew who I was, right?
That's
And so
exactly what it does to me.
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So okay,
Mhm.
so you at state,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Mhm.
And
I
so
know.
do you feel because COVID happened, you mentioned that,
Right.
and
So
you
I
took
didn't
full
even
advantage of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I didn't even like I went to state, but my last year was my first year because I did my first 2 years at the community college and
Gotcha.
then my third year at state, but that was all online. So then
Hmm.
my senior year was my first year actually on the
Actually
campus.
on campus. Got you.
So
Hmm.
yeah, so that was different for me because I already had stamp and notoriety in Richmond, but people in state didn't know me. You understand? So
Mm.
they, yeah. So like I went to state, but I don't be screaming it because people don't wouldn't know me because I was only there
Right.
for a year.
Right. Got you.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
uh,
So that was a little monkey wrench because that could have
right.
been a great opportunity to get,
It could have.
those
It could have.
connections. Yeah.
I think it was pros and cons because even teachers would bring me up, to talk because of what I had already done. Because a lot
Uh,
of people hadn't done, as much as I had done around that time.
hmm.
So they would come for me to speak and, talk about that. Because I even had my podcast before that. It was just straight audio. I didn't have a
Oh,
video.
okay.
So I had my personal podcast, C.D.O.T Talks, and it was straight audio, and that was doing pretty decent too. So they used to, bring me up to the state, to the class and wanted me to talk about what I had done and what I had already done and stuff. So it was
Hmm.
pros and cons to it. Um, yeah. But I got the degree, so that's all that
Right. Look, that's all that
matters.
matters. Hey, you would have
That's
loved
all
to
that
take full advantage, right?
right,
But
right.
you got what you went there to receive. So,
Exactly. Yeah, because
congratulations to you for that.
I feel like people don't like I already had the experience, but that
Mm.
degree, adds more,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
your yeah, when
Kind of
people will
solidifies
respect
you
me.
more. Hmm.
Exactly. Because you could talk all day, I've done this, I've done that. But it's like when you get in these rooms, especially with these certain
They want
people,
credentials. Yeah.
they want credentials. And I have the experience too. So it's not like it's just I got the degree. I have been doing this, but plus I had a degree. So that was important
Hmm.
for me.
Hmm. Because nowadays people either have one or the other, the experience and no credentials, or the credentials and no experience. So you
Exactly.
came what they call is a perfect package, right?
Exactly.
Mhm. Okay, so what part of your story at this point in
Hmm.
time,
Hmm.
senior year, graduation,
Hmm.
have you rarely shared? What part of that experience?
Have I really shared?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I just think COVID just was very depressing, because we were stuck in
Mm,
the house. And then even going back, just to college, it was weird because you still had these little guidelines and restrictions too. And I had a child on the way. So that, I guess you speak on that. I mean,
mm,
they seen the child, but I had one coming because I graduated with her
mm.
on my arm.
Oh
So,
wow.
but so yeah, I guess that, yeah.
Mm. That was kind of gonna be my next question too. Like, no young lady into you just grinding. Like,
Yeah, I was just grinding. Yeah, I was just grinding. But yeah, I had the child, so that was cool, to graduate with her. We
right,
graduated, she had the little Jonah on too. So
right.
that was
So, what
cool.
did that do for you as a young man
Um,
on the road to
I
pursuing
mean,
his dreams, graduating, and now you're a father?
I think some would say, it got me super focused. I feel like I was already focused, but it just kind of pushed me to be more focused and,
Mm,
just move a certain way, and just really get my ducks in a row. Because when you're
right,
chasing this type of stuff too, you're pursuing, you're pursuing, but you still have to have a real job to survive
right,
and things of that nature. So I think that kind of changed the shift too, because it's like, oh, I can't just pursue, 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 and not
right.
have no backing, especially with a child. So I
Because
think
it
that's the
sounds like when it comes down to music, whether it's media, um, doesn't matter the genre, that it's the lack of revenue. It sounds like
right.
that's kind of like the
Woo,
biggest for most people. Like
bit,
you can love it, be passionate, meet all
woo,
the top people, be in the right rooms, but
woo.
ain't helping sustain your life, ain't paying the bills, right? And it
Right.
sounds like that's
Woo.
one of the biggest challenges for a lot of people that have a true passion for
Exactly.
the music industry. And
Right.
so,
Right.
what type of jobs you had to take just to
Woo.
continue to be able to maintain the purpose, and not,
Woo.
lose hope?
I was working at Food Line forever.
Mm,
Um, I was also we talked about, the advocacy for kids. I was a paraprofessional for
mm,
special education. So I did that for a while. Went back to Food Line. Hey, I don't never want to go back to Food Line ever
mm,
again. And now I work for a foster care agency. So I always
Oh,
kind of done stuff with kids. So yeah,
mm.
yeah.
So where do you think that interest or passion or that
I don't
could
think it was a
come
passion.
from?
I just think it was when you graduate, people that know when you first graduate, the school system always hires. Like that's one of those
Um,
jobs that are always when you first get that
always
degree,
available.
always available. So I think it was just
Mm,
kind of like, yo, I need a job. And I have a cousin who has special needs and has Down syndrome and autism.
mm,
So I think that the patience and all of that, I've been
mm,
around, that. So I think that comes from that too. So
mhm.
just having the
So it was
patience,
easy.
yeah.
It was available. Number
Right.
one, right? It
Mhm.
provided the means and what you needed at the time. But then
Right.
it also sounds like you're familiar, you were familiar with certain
Right.
aspects of children and situations, so you kind of had the patience for it. So, like you said, it
Mhm.
wasn't necessarily a passion, but you can't
Right.
completely dislike and have no compassion to do that now. So that's what
Right.
we
Right.
said when you spoke about him. I'm like, okay, because it has to be some
Right.
compassion. I think my charger's not working. Something's not right. I need my son to come up here and figure that out. Um, yeah, it's doing something weird. But yeah, so there was a connection, even though you
Yeah.
didn't
It was
seek it out for those
yeah.
reasons, but
Right.
you did find a
Right.
sense of connection. Okay, okay, okay. So let's talk about a turning point
Okay.
where, and it might not be your story, so don't correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong, but I
Mhm.
feel like for most of us that
Mhm.
are in high pursuit of our dreams and we're
Mhm.
consistent and we're commitment, it's always this fork in the road when we try and figure out, I don't know, like is this gonna work? Maybe I need to figure out something else. And, have you had that
I've had
moment?
many. I've had many of them. I just think I've just pivoted to something else. Even in we talked about college. I got the opportunity to it's an online radio station called 101 FM. I got the opportunity to be a producer of a radio show. Then I turned into an intern, and then my
Mm.
internship led me to be one of the engineers for the whole station. And then
Oh,
after that, I end up becoming a co-host on an actual show. So
oh, okay.
that was kind of like a stepping stone
Mm-hmm.
too. And then
Mm-hmm.
I eventually left the show and just kept doing what I was doing and just
Mm-hmm.
pivoted on. So I've had those
Those
experiences.
moments.
Yeah, yeah. That's what
Yeah.
come with it though. That's a part of the
Yeah,
game.
not only does it come with it, I feel like those be the ultimate tests. Cause it ain't
Right,
nothing when it's easy and it's smooth and
right.
you know the right people, you shaking the right hands, and but then when those trying times where it's like, all right, man, this ain't this
Woo.
ain't keeping the lights on, something got to give. And
Right,
so
right.
okay, and again, that kind of really tends to expose how bad we want it. You
Mm,
know,
right.
how much you believe in what it is you say you want, like
Exactly.
those are those moments where it's really like, because some people are like, yeah, no, I love it, but no, this ain't gonna work. And then they'll give up.
Right.
Yeah, and then later on they look back and say, dang, I was with so and so. Look at him or her now. I should have stayed, flat footed. And it's just not an easy thing to do. So I totally
It's not.
understand when
It's
people
not.
get to this space in life where they're just kind of exhausted. Because it could be, and I've never, I don't get too much into me when it comes to that. I did rap, whole nother story. Okay, just look.
Okay.
And so look. And so
Okay.
I've actually, okay, you're like the fourth guest. I've had to reveal that too. And so I rap in two different aspects of life. So I've lived two different lives as a rapper, if that makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
And so I don't know, probably like what was I born in '08, so probably like '03 to '07, '04 to '07, '08.
Okay.
Was pretty heavy in the underground rapping.
Okay. Okay.
My boyfriend, who's my husband now, was my manager, right?
Okay. That's dope.
And so it was definitely fun. The
Hmm.
adrenaline is kind of crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
Actually, I was one of the ones I get on top of the speaker. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was one of them.
I like that. I like that.
I
That's a
had
good, great
crazy stage
performance.
presence, like crazy stage
That's
presence. But
that's that's dope.
and then I kind of, we transitioned and I got into ministry and I
Okay.
thought that okay, and I think I was telling the guy you referred me, the artist. I'm sorry,
Tygo,
Tygo.
Tygo. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's my guy.
I was
That's my
sharing with
guy.
him, and then once I got to ministry, I was like, I guess I can't rap no more because I ain't about to be, spitting those sentences. Like, but it
Even
worked.
still
I
do.
flipped it, and I would
Okay.
just do. I would use
Christian.
all industry instrumentals to get the attention. So
Okay, that's
everybody
smart.
always thought I was going to be on something hardcore
Right,
when
that's
they
smart.
hit a beat, and then I'm straight giving nothing but wisdom and
That's
scripture.
good. That's good.
But it was sweet. I ain't sent nobody into my videos yet. I'm just letting y'all know. It's still out there. I want nobody searching my old stage name. I'm not her anymore.
I
But
would
I'm
love to
just
hear
saying
it.
that because I can understand how sometimes that adrenaline rush can just really
Right.
keep you excited about it, and the reality of it we can kind of ignore because it
Mm,
wasn't paying no bills. You know what I'm saying?
that's
I
true.
mean, it wasn't making no money. We was everywhere. We was in New York, Atlanta. Like we was moving. Like we was what we would consider. We feel like we was actually making some noise, but it wasn't paying no bills. You know.
Right.
And so I commend any artist, especially
Hmm.
if they're not from a major city where
Right.
getting into the industry is easy. When we coming from these small pockets, DC, Richmond, like that's not easy access to get those types of opportunities that can change your life.
Right.
So I commend anyone, hats off to anyone that can keep that passion up and that momentum, knowing that it just we haven't gotten it to the point where it's actually sustaining my life. That
Right.
shows crazy passion and commitment. And so enough about me. And so let me ask you this. So because
I
they're
like
like,
that. I
so
can't.
what's your
I want
name?
to
What
hear.
was the song?
Yeah, I want. I want. I can't wait to hear it whenever you reveal it. I can't wait.
It's amazing. It was such 2 lifetimes ago. But so now you're a father,
Mhm.
right? So fatherhood, did that was there a moment where you felt like I gotta take a step back because I want to be with her more, or was it more so I gotta get this, I gotta make it happen because of her?
That's what it was for me. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
got to make it happen because of her. And then just having her, I don't want to. I don't want to set an example where if it gets tough or you have a kid, don't chase your dreams, don't chase what you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to get to. So I want to show that example. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
I still, I yes, I had you, but I still kept it going and still
Continued
did
on, yeah.
what I wanted to do. So I just
Mm-hmm.
want to show that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how was the relationship with her and mom? Was y'all maintaining or?
That's another. That's another.
I told you I'm going where you go. I told you I'm
Yeah,
going
that's
where you go.
another. Yeah, that was it was it's rocky. It was rocky, but
Mm-hmm.
it's better now. It's a little bit better
Okay,
now.
that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Um, and so I told you I'm going where you go. And so you realize, okay, now I got to put got to put my foot on the gas. Not
Right.
rush the process, but now I got to get even more. Yeah, something's not going right on my charger. Hopefully we don't have an issue. Yeah, it's kind of blanking out. But okay, so now you just, you're more, not more focused, maybe more focused. You would say more focused, or just
I
realizing I
feel.
got to make it happen. Just
Yeah, just got to make it
mm-hmm,
happen because I felt
mm-hmm.
like I was already focused
Focus. Yeah, sound
before
like.
that.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, I was already on that
mm-hmm,
mindset. Even like I said, even high school me, I was always focused.
mm-hmm. Because
Especially
that was that
especially
maturity factor you spoke about.
right,
Mm-hmm,
even especially in the 11th and 12th grade, I was super tunnel vision.
mm-hmm.
Um, what I was trying to do.
So, was there a certain someone that believed in your ability,
Mhm.
that kind of keeps you focused and encouraged? That's kind of like always in your ear.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people in my life don't really know exactly. They know I'm in the realm, but they might not
Mm-hmm,
know exactly what I do.
mm-hmm.
Um, I think
Because you're
some
so behind
people,
the scenes.
right, and I'm not like a booster or a boast. I don't really
Mm-hmm.
look at me. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Yeah,
It's just kind of
yeah.
like, oh, if you see it, even just the interview, like people are like, wow,
Mm-hmm,
you get interviewed. So
mm-hmm.
it's like if you see it, you see it. I don't really, say, oh, it's me. I'm doing this. I'm doing
Right.
that. I'm all to them. I'm all yeah. You're always doing something. So
Mm-hmm.
I
And
don't
so,
know.
is
I
that a
think
no? Because it's got to be somebody that knows what you're doing. And
Uh, I mean, my cousin, he get, he show love. But I don't know if it's there as a set person that's really like, hey, you doing this. It's some people that, here and there I hear from that give me that type of love. But I think, like I said, a lot of people just don't know, or a lot of, especially with me having a lot of older people around, they're
mm,
unfamiliar to the industry and what it takes and, all those things. But I think a
mm,
lot of people respect me because I'm still doing it. I've been doing it since high school. So I get
mm,
that too. Hey, you keeping up. Like, I see people, my cousins I ain't seen in a while, you still doing what you was doing,
mm.
because people respect that.
Right.
You don't
And
give
see,
up
but
on
see what
something.
you just described. That's why I asked that question, because
Right,
we
right,
all
right.
need that. Keep going.
Right,
Right. I
right.
see. That's why I asked you. You have somebody because I think that especially when you laser focus and like super committed,
Mhm.
like to your point, they don't really be knowing that whole story. They don't really be knowing
Yeah,
the ups and
they don't.
downs.
They
And
don't.
sometimes some. Well, I ain't gonna say sometimes. I personally feel like you should. I shouldn't have to tell you every bump in the road for you to check on me, type of thing.
Right,
And it
right.
sounds like your role is more so you're the one that checks on versus being
Exactly,
checked. And that's where that
exactly.
came from.
And I think a lot of the keep going, I think that's more of a personal, like I tell
Mm.
myself that,
So, mm-hmm,
keep
mm-hmm,
going, you got this, you know who you are.
mm-hmm,
I do that for
mm-hmm,
myself more than anything.
mm-hmm. Which is good, and
Right.
which is needed and necessary, but it
Mhm.
always helps when we kind of got that
Somebody,
person on the
yeah.
outside. I ain't heard, I ain't talked to them. They don't know, and because when those, and I'm kind of overly explaining this and sticking here because you need it. You
You're
definitely
right.
need it.
Yeah,
And
you're
so
right.
maybe somebody hit that right.
Yeah, right, right,
Because not only do you need it just for the sake of, because it ain't about being seen. To your point, that ain't even your
right,
character or your personality, but it's
right,
more so like, I've been doing this for a while. You got to have an idea of what this comes with.
right,
Check on, me, you know,
right, right.
just check on me because it's really it's nothing like somebody checking on you when you're having a moment and you didn't have to go looking for a shoulder. And they was like, hey man,
Mm,
I ain't want that. Just want to make sure you keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing.
right.
We need you type of thing. Like I'm really heavy on that. And so I
Okay.
always
That's
try to
dope.
impart that and I can recognize
Hmm.
in a lot of people when they are that, but they don't get that.
Right. Yeah, I think that speaks back to the only child stuff. Like it's just I'm so used to,
Yeah, you're content with
uh,
you're used to not having that
yeah,
that
right,
that that person on your left and right.
right.
And so yeah, no, I get that. I get that. Okay, so you got your daughter, you're pursuing, and so what about how old is your daughter now?
She's 4.
She's 4. Okay.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
4
she's 4.
now.
Yeah,
And so I'm sure your ultimate goal is not just Grammy, it's not just music and meeting this person, it's legacy, right?
exactly.
Because now this legacy, now this bigger than music, it's bigger than
Right,
media. So that
right,
comes with a certain mindset and a different posture, a different attitude. Do you feel like
right.
you became a little more aggressive, um,
Yeah, I mean
stronger
some
executor? Like, did it pump? Did it? I'm just trying to figure out. Like, did it put some fire under your feet a little bit?
Yeah, just because a lot of the stuff, back to the revenue, I wasn't getting paid for. So it's like, yo, that's when, that's kind of like why I'm doing PR now. It's like, oh, what can I do to start making revenue? Because I
Mm-hmm.
have a little one. And
Mm-hmm.
I think with her too, it's kind of dope, seeing her kind of liking the culture, even though she's young,
Mm-hmm.
we listen to, you know, the Funkadelics, and we listened to the DeBarge family and
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jackson and Ashanti and Keisha Cole and
Mm-hmm.
Outkast. So that's kind of like our bonding
How
thing
you
when I
bond,
ride.
right?
Yeah, when we ride around in car, when I drive, I have these records that she knows now because of the me playing it around her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's now in the culture now.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's kind of dope too.
So give me a second. Because I think something happened with this charger. Give me 1 second, okay?
All right. Peace, everybody out there. Hopefully, y'all can hear us. just happy to be a part of that, a part of the Let's Talk About It with April. Um, think it's super dope. Um, just excited just to be a part. Um, if anybody's out there, and, say a couple words, say a couple comments, say what's up. Just happy to be here. It's 88.
All right. Forgive me. I don't know what's going on, but I think this charger has a shortage in it or something. And I don't wanna I'm afraid it's gonna die. So I figured I'd make the transition before it dies. You can still hear me and see me good?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, so let me just now I need to use this. Apologies, apologies. I just
No,
don't
you
want to
fine.
lose the stream. And
You
then we
fine.
have a bigger problem. I just need to convert over here. Okay, yes,
Take
okay,
your
okay,
time.
okay, 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 okay. All right, so we were talking about the job you took on because you
Mhm.
realize, okay, this is not really paying the bills, but this is I'm still presuming I'm going to continue.
Right.
And so you just kind of made a way
Mhm.
out of no way. And so from there, at what point did um, you realize, or if you have, so correct me if
Mhm.
I'm wrong, where you
Mhm.
realize, okay, I need to step this up. Well, I need to step up my presence, step up
Uh-huh.
my engagement, our relationship. Have you come to that point yet? Where I need to just
Yeah,
step it up. Maybe I need to come from behind the veil a little bit.
yeah, in some regards. I mean, and
Mhm.
even before that, like I said, I still kind of my face was out there, but I had did the radio stuff. I was a little bit
Mhm.
more out there. So I've always kind of had my face out there, but not as much. It was like here and there. But
Mhm.
I will always be consistent, especially on social
Mhm.
media. Always consistent. So have a post, have something, talk about
Right.
something.
Right.
So like I said, I was working at the school and I was doing
Mhm.
radio, and that really helped me with a lot of my relationships too. And
Oh.
that
Mhm.
helped me interview people that I've been wanting to interview. So I would just put them on the radio so
Oh.
I could talk to them
Mhm.
and create these relationships too. So I think that had a lot to do with it too, going on a radio and just seeing how a radio show is, made. You have
Mm.
segments and the music in between, and because I did the engineering, so I kind of know the
Mhm.
backhand of it and all of that. So
Mhm.
that was a dope experience because now I have not just writing podcasts, and now I have radio
Mhm.
under my
So more to
radio
add
belt.
to your repertoire. So now you're not just diverse in your experience. You're kind of like diversifying your portfolio in a sense.
Right.
So now that should allow you to have certain levels of connections and relationships outside of one sector of media that you might have been involved in. Okay, so
Yeah.
I guess you have had that like that because it
Yeah.
don't and that wasn't a trick question, right? That because it just I just know that just being passionate about something.
Mhm.
I know what that comes with. I don't have to be in journalism to
Know
understand.
that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just the requirements of passion and commitment.
Mm.
At some
Mm.
point, I think we all get to this space where we're like, okay, I need to level up. I got to do more. Right.
Right.
I need to show my face a little more. I need to show up a little more. So that's kind of really where that question came from. Okay. And so the mentorship, so you mentoring artists, is that like a part of the development? Is that kind of all encompassing
Yeah.
what you do with the artists and developing them?
Yeah. I kind of all I did that kind of always, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really talk about it, or I didn't know, it was an actual thing. Cause like I tried to
Uh,
manage artists and all of that, but I did the whole development, helping them,
mm-hmm.
just keeping that mind right, just keeping them sane. But what I was talked about earlier is pros and cons to that
Mm-hmm.
because I probably wouldn't do that, a lot no more. Like it's a guy I'm managing now, but he was a friend of mine back in the day, and
Mm-hmm.
he was incarcerated, been home about a couple years, and I just been watching him, put out this great music, and he would,
Mm-hmm.
get locked up. So it's like when I saw he got out the last time, I was like, yo, I just want to help you stay
Mm-hmm.
home. stay consistent and really make it in this game. Like I'm not
Mhm.
Jay-Z, but
Right.
I got a little bit of connections.
Yeah.
I can help you
Mhm.
any way you can. So that's
Mhm.
kind of because we have that relationship and I believe in him. So shout out to Trey
Mhm.
Louden. I believe in him because it's like I just see it. But I wouldn't just do that again. At first I was just doing it just to help people. But it's like
Right.
I wouldn't do it again because it's becoming a
Wow.
manager. It's just
Yeah.
so much because people
Yeah.
put their whole career in your hands. They don't listen. They do what they want to do. It's like having another child. I don't need
Yeah.
another child. I don't need no more.
Yeah.
Like having a
Yeah.
whole nother child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
hate it.
what has been your most challenging situation you face so far?
Just in the game or just in life?
Just in the game, well, the game and life, because when we're
Mhm.
passionate, our life is the game and the game is our life, right?
Right,
So
right.
because challenges, and I'll go further into why I'm asking the question. What was like one of the greatest challenges that you
Challenging.
faced thus far?
Hmm. I think we were just talking about that, making revenue, just
Mm-hmm.
making
Mm-hmm.
revenue from this. And just, earning respect. I think earning respect
Mm-hmm.
too. Because a lot of this game is who you know. It's not
Right.
they don't
Most
nobody
of it
care.
is, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody care about the credentials. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, unless you're talking to
Yeah,
majors.
ballroom type. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's all about, who you know. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been in spaces where, until I said I know this person, I got no response or people didn't look at me a certain
Mm-hmm.
way. It just I've been in it so long and been around. Now I know how to maneuver and get what I want, or I know how to get backstage. I know how to be persistent. Whereas the old me, probably if you told me I couldn't get back there, I'd just say, all right, cool, and go home. But
Mm-hmm.
now I'm more persistent and I know, oh, I can talk. Hey, I know this person. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Look, they
What?
call it name dropping, right?
Exactly. I've done it. It's crazy. It's
Mm-hmm.
even people around here that ain't even like that. That you
Mm-hmm.
name drop them and now they want to be your friend. So
Right, right, right.
yeah, I think the respect and just that revenue piece of how how I'm gonna make money from this because I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing this for so long, and a lot of people, especially people like yo, where the money at?
Yeah,
You doing this
yeah.
cool? You ain't getting paid for it. You ain't getting paid for it. You ain't getting paid for it. So it's like once I started figuring out, oh, I could get paid from doing this, or I can make money from doing this. I think that's kind of what it was like finally. Like, woo,
Mm-hmm.
I put in 10 years. Now I'm
Mm-hmm.
finally getting paid.
But
Like
nothing that's worth it comes easy,
at all. At all.
right? And so this is something my husband and I just kind of subscribe to this notion of when it starts getting difficult, that's because we're just getting closer to the goalposts.
Right.
When it's all when it's smooth and everything's aligned, that's when you need to gird up a little bit. Like, all right, hold on. Let me
Right.
check my rear view because something coming on the pipeline. And I'm not saying that to say that it's always going to be grief and heartache. I'm not saying that.
Right.
However, we know you just got to grow to know that ain't nothing that's worthwhile gonna come easy.
Yep.
And those challenges, which is why I asked what has
Right.
been the
Right.
greatest challenge, because those challenges are not just moments of being tested, tried and proven. Those are also, as I mentioned, the notion that we believe that's it's almost like those are indications. I see challenges are I see challenges as indications that
I
I'm on the
agree.
right path and I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I started getting a little worried with things too sweet, with
Right.
things too sweet because, and it's not really worried. That's not really the appropriate word. I think I just try to become a little more vigilant and, and
mm,
diligent
mm,
when things are smooth because I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. Did I get too comfortable?
mm.
And so I got to make sure these contracts tight because sometimes when you get comfortable, you start slacking.
Right.
And that's why I truly believe that sometimes God, and I was telling somebody this the other day, pull that olive branch back a little bit. Every time we get right there, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? To keep pulling it back because I think it's been proven over and over in time that once we grab the goalposts, we probably gonna start slacking off, get a little big headed. You know what I'm saying? Lose sight of the community and all those other things that ultimately we end up getting in the way. right? And then ruin all that momentum that we built over time. And so, yeah, that's
Right.
why I asked. It's not really digging and looking for nothing gloomy. It's just
I
knowing
got you.
that when you're on a
Right.
pursuit, like, we call it turbulence, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Turbulence, I'm still in the right path, still in the air now.
Right,
Don't get it
right.
twisted. I'm a little nervous, but I'm in the air, so that's good. I'm actually excited for your journey. I
I
really am.
appreciate
I'm
that.
really
I
excited for your
appreciate
journey
that.
because it's not just about the experience. It's not just about or should I say, it doesn't just take being great or being
Mm,
smart or being
mm,
productive or being
oh,
closely connected to the right people. That consistency, man, I'm telling you, well, you can
talk
have
about it.
all that and no consistency, and trust me, it's gonna be a quick rise and a hard fall.
Yep.
You know,
Not long.
and so yeah, so I'm excited for that for you. Okay, so I got a few questions. I got a few questions. I got a few questions.
Yeah, let's what you
I'm
got.
pissed off. I try to get to know you a little more before I try to, and so I just want to ask you a few questions.
Mm,
And so, let's go here. Okay,
uh-huh.
did you make any promises to yourself as a child in relation to anything you're doing, or maybe something outside of that? What any
Mm,
promises you made to yourself?
promises, promises. I want to say about. I'm gonna say more so goals, I
Hmm.
guess. But I haven't got to none of them yet.
Hmm.
Like I
That's
wanted to
okay. Hmm.
get the Grammy. I want to have this big media company. I want to be a mogul. Oh, I guess I'm almost there. I don't know. You know. What else? What else? I want to have this estate for the family. And I really want to give back to the city. That's really I want to create something where I can give back to the city in some way,
Hmm.
somehow.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
I,
big for me.
I
I'm super
find you
Richmond.
Richmond natives, man, y'all love y'all city. And I get it. Most people
Some
shout
do,
out this city and love this city, but I just
some do,
it's something different about y'all Richmond people. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't
some
gonna lie
do.
to you. It's something different about y'all level of compassion for y'all community.
Deep.
And I'm sure it ain't all over Richmond. I'm sure it ain't everybody, but I see such a and I'm sure people say she say this all the time because I have so many Richmond guests. Y'all have
Mm,
such this cohesiveness
mm,
about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a thing where, and I'm sure things going behind the scene, how could they not? But from where I'm sitting, I see y'all unified. I see y'all
mm.
being
Wow,
supportive. You know what I'm
wow.
saying?
I like that.
In spite of whatever egos may rise, because we humans and we all
Right,
driven and we all, you know what I'm saying? So that's part of that comes with the territory,
right,
but in spite of whatever I might not be aware of, from where I'm sitting, I'm viewing something amazing. I'm viewing some people that have not just made transitions from horrific situations. I'm seeing people that had aspiration at a young age that came from good stock that are committed, that do have this certain desire to make sure that I don't get there alone.
right.
And I get that from all of y'all. That y'all don't want to go alone.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that. I
That.
love that, man. I genuinely love that. And it's because I can relate.
Mm,
That's the core who I am. That's the nature and the character of my husband. And so I'm just always really enthusiastic about meeting people that I know aren't um what's the word I want to use? Self-consumed,
indeed.
right? Just only about worrying about their bag and their goal. And so
Yeah.
I really truly admire y'all for having such compassion for y'all community and just being driven and creative. I'm just so glad that I'm a part of y'all, village now,
Yeah,
and
you
so
are. You are. You one of us.
yeah, I love it. I really love it. And for real, and this ain't for the live.
Mm,
Those in Richmond know I'll DM conversations, very respectful. I never feel anything from the man that's out of the ordinary,
mm. Oh,
and I just say that just because, we live in a
right,
society and a culture where people just expect
right.
disrespect and all that. I get nothing but love, support,
That's
respect,
amazing.
and honor. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
dope.
and
That's amazing.
yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna go there. I just
Nah,
really
that's
felt
good.
that. Yeah, I
I
really
didn't.
felt that.
I'm
And that's
glad
why
you
when I say
expressed
these
that.
things, I ain't just saying it. I really genuinely am rooting for y'all. Like I'm really rooting for y'all, cheering for y'all. and expecting great. See, I'm an accountability person. I'm
Okay.
like,
Okay.
I'm a little mama bear for real, you know. So it's like I hear you, and I'm gonna end up in your DM if I'm saying that you ain't, you know, you ain't no
Slay.
pursuit with all that stuff you said in
Uh,
the interview, you
I
know.
like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
like seriously, because we have the ability to be great, and we're talking about individuals that know what they want.
Mm,
You know, we're not talking about people that's lost and trying to figure it out. And no shot to them. You know, we're here for you too. But that's half the battle, is all I'm trying to say. When you
mm,
know what you want, that's half the battle.
mm.
You know, so stay consistent, keep doing what you're doing. Much success to you. Okay, so let's see.
Exactly.
Because I'm so compassionate, I just be, you know,
I
I ain't trying
like
to have
that.
you on here crying. Okay, so all right, so let me ask you this. Okay,
Mhm,
has there been an interview that you've done, whether it was way back
mhm,
then or recent, where it had such an impact on you, where it kind of shifted your perspective a little bit on how you move or who you
mm,
engage in, things like that?
mm, mm. Have I had anything impactful like that? I don't
Hmm.
think so.
You don't
I
think
don't think
so?
so. I don't think so. I think because the way I interview, like I get personal, but
Mm-hmm.
not too personal, and I also do kind of like a talk beforehand before we even get into
Mm-hmm.
the interview, because especially with Richmond and the beefs and all of that that's going on, I want to know what's going on with you and all of that before I even press record, because I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
say I'm
Right.
saying,
Yeah, yeah. Something
we talk
crazy come
about
out.
right, and then you
We
cuss
live.
them,
So
right, you
yeah.
cuss them out on the interview. It's like, whoa. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't get too personal, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I just like I keep it music. I keep it, how did you come up? I kind of don't try to get too personal, with interviews. So I don't
But
think I
even
had
with
none.
that, like it ain't gotta be too personal and grimy and deep and dark.
Mm,
It can just be, and I'm not trying to make you, you
mhm,
know, force you to have one. Just kind of trying to jog your memory. So it's like with this interview,
mhm.
right? Like I'm thoroughly impressed by you. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like I'm
Okay, I
thoroughly
get what you're
impressed by
saying.
you. So that right there gave me a little, a different perspective. Everybody in the industry isn't like this, or every black man doesn't present themselves like that. Everybody doesn't have a dark and gloomy story. So that's a shift in perspective.
Right.
So
I get
that's
what
kind
you.
of what I meant. I ain't trying to make you force one,
I
but
get what you're
I think
saying.
those are important because
Mhm.
these, and I'm gonna talk about April. I don't believe these encounters are by accident. I don't care if you
Right,
beg for an interview. I don't
right,
believe these encounters are by accident. I believe that there is something divinely orchestrated for opportunities where we're able to sit across from someone and hear about their passion or their, whatever their story is or whatever their business ideas and creativity, things they may be trying to get creative with. I just don't take those lightly. And that's kind of why I thought that question was important. So you don't got to, you can
right.
rest on that. You don't got to,
Nah, I think I got one for you. I
Okay.
interviewed it's an LGBTQ rapper by the name of Low Key. Shout out to Low Key. We did an interview, and just from the naked eye, right, from a man's perspective, when you think about somebody who's LGBTQ and is in rap, you wouldn't think that they listen to Nas. You just wouldn't. So
Mm-hmm.
I did an interview with him. He identifies as him, and his perspective on it, who he listens to and who he was around, listened to as a kid, was just kind of dope to me, because it's like, no,
Mm-hmm.
you look at someone like a Lil Nas X or Saucy Santana, who's LGBTQ. I don't feel, I might be wrong. They might not know why Nas is important or Jay is
Mm-hmm.
important or
Mm-hmm.
Pac is important. They might not understand that. So when we did our interview, which was a very good interview, you can check it out on YouTube, for him to know that, that just gave me way more respect for him, because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you're just not trying to do this for fun. You really understand what hip
Mm-hmm.
hop is. You understand the foundation. So I think that just, even to me, puts him in a whole different category as far as
Mm-hmm.
rap, because if you tell me your favorite rapper, he gave me his top five and Foxy Brown was in there, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you're on a whole different mindset.
Mm-hmm.
They not people. even the Nicki fans and those people aren't listening to Foxy Brown. Lotto
Mm-mm.
doesn't listen to
Don't even
Foxy
know who
Brown.
she is.
Nah, right,
Hmm.
so I think that's
Hmm.
one, something like
You
that.
see what I'm saying? So that I can see how that
Yeah,
could have gave you like that's a lot of perspective, like
right.
because
Wow,
we
right.
judge books by covers. We do. We're all
Exactly.
guilty of it.
Right,
We're all guilty of it.
right.
And so yeah, see, I'm glad you found one. That was actually
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
one.
I bet
That's
that was a
actually
good
a
one
really
too.
good one because that sheds so much light on when it comes down to diversifying and how
Exactly.
sometimes, and I say this, I overabuse it. I know that some of us are so much more alike than we are different, but
Mm.
we don't know
Deep.
that. We don't give
Right,
ourselves an opportunity to even
right,
figure that out.
right.
Because you over there, you doing that, I'm over here, I do this. We in two
Hmm.
different worlds, can't
Do it.
relate,
People
hands
do it
off,
all the
not
time.
interested. Right.
Right.
So shout out to you for even doing that interview,
Yeah, it was
you
dope.
know?
It was I actually know his uncle, so it was kind of on some like,
Uh,
yo, his uncle from the way. So it was just a dope interview though. It was just because
mm,
it was a different perspective. Whole, we come from we quote unquote come from two different worlds, but we
mm-hmm.
related on a lot, and it was just a dope conversation. So shout out
Right,
to Loki.
right. That
Yeah,
definitely sounds like that. Um, so what's your biggest fear of being a dad?
of a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Biggest fear of being a dad. Biggest fear of being a dad. What is my biggest fear of being a dad? I don't know. That's a good
Anything you're
question.
concerned about with your
Yeah,
role and
'cause
responsibility?
I just, I just hope that she's a good person, and I hope that she, just have morals and intent, those type of things. That's really what I hope. I don't know if I'm concerned about anything. I think I will try to learn to trust her, as much as possible.
Mm,
Kind of go because you gotta understand I'm my only child too, so I'm kind of used to doing my own thing. So I
right.
can't I can't come at her for doing
And
her own
impose.
thing. Right. Or if
Mm-hmm.
she's interested in something, I can't say, oh, don't be interested in that because I'm interested in what I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
also super um I guess they say pro black or whatever, so I'm super big on civil rights and pushing different movements and standing up for certain stuff. So if she believes in something like that, I want to encourage her to go to protest, speak out,
Mm-hmm.
those things of those nature. I don't want her to
Mm-hmm.
feel like she can't speak out or it's wrong to do
Or she
this.
don't have a voice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of, hope that she understands that just by
Right.
what I do. But I think a lot of what parenting too is kind of what you do because they're watching you. So
Very
you
much
have to
so.
be the example. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I just move how I already move. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
maybe not use a lot of profanity around, things like
Right.
that you
Right.
clean up,
Mm-hmm.
but I still have integrity in the way I move and the way I do things. So I think just me being present and just me being me, I think is good as well too.
Mm-hmm.
And being
So let's talk
honest.
about that a little bit.
Mhm.
The activism in you,
Yeah,
the
right, right.
active
Exactly.
activist blood flowing through your veins. So let's talk about that. When did
Yeah.
you first dive into the interests of that?
Third grade.
Mm,
Um, third grade got very heavy into Black history. My history teacher, she was a part of it too. She really was big on Black history. We had like a Black history play type
mm,
performance thing.
mm,
And I just really, really fell in love with Martin Luther King and his story. And then my mom ended up being a caretaker for his chief of staff. So
mm,
that was somebody that was around the movement, around civil rights movement, right hand of Martin Luther King. And I actually got to ask him, questions about the movement and
mm,
Martin and things that went on. So I think that had a lot to do with it too, because I had somebody, that was a part of it, that was around
mm-hmm,
it. So I just kind of just that's just always what I've been. I'm super big into, knowing my black history and knowing our history. And then, you go down the line now, we're in the Trump era. So not
mm-hmm,
knowing your history is more of a superpower
mm-hmm,
now because a lot of they taking it out of books and all that stuff
mm-hmm,
now too. So I think with me, I've always kind of been on the activism side and
Hmm.
activism mindset, whereas now it's cool to be an activist,
Now it's
especially since
cool to be an activist. Very
yeah,
true.
especially since the George Floyd and the COVID,
Hmm.
everybody's an activist now. So I think with me, I speak up about certain stuff, some stuff I don't speak on, but I've
Hmm.
always, had my certain beliefs and certain way of thinking and always stuck to it. I've never switched
Hmm.
up, and but it's always been like that. Like I said, since third grade. I in the play I actually did Martin Luther King's speech. I did that play.
Oh.
So
Oh, see, I'm glad you mentioned that. You gonna let us do the interview where go there? Come on now. Let's
yeah, I
find that
forgot
good
to tell you.
soil, man. Come
I
on. I'm
forgot to
glad you
tell you
brought
that.
that up.
Yeah, so yeah, big Martin guy. Like I know a
Mm-hmm.
lot about Martin. I mean, I'm a Malcolm X guy too, but that's kind of some research and stuff I did later on. But as a kid, I
Hmm.
was super heavy Martin, and then especially like I said, rest in peace to Doctor Y.T. Walker when he was alive too. Him telling me about certain stuff too, and just
Hmm.
at picking his brain. That really made me, love Martin even more. So yeah, super Martin Luther King, super Malcolm
Hmm.
X person.
And so you felt like your love for your culture and history started in elementary school.
Elementary school.
And so did
Yeah.
you like further pursue it in like little pockets as you got into middle and high school, or was it really just
Nah, no,
something
I just
just a personal thing?
yeah, more of a personal thing. Like I've
Hmm.
always, that's just I just have the knowledge, and I've always, obtained the knowledge and learned different stuff.
Hmm.
And when it come to Black history, cinema, I always check it out. Like I love the story they did on Nat Turner.
Hmm.
Really love Nat Turner. So I've always had that, but it's more of like you said, a personal thing
Personal
and more
thing.
of a cultural
Hmm.
thing. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I
Are you
think it's
familiar
more.
with Hidden Colors?
Yes, yeah, that's the
Hmm.
documentary. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Of course, yeah,
Yeah, heavy on that. Okay. Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. See, I'm just learning so much.
Yeah.
So
So I
much.
and
Okay.
then when you talk about hip hop, that's where it comes from that.
Hmm.
You have the Public
Hmm.
Enemies, you have Pac early in his career, these people when you talk about hip hop and activism and movement music, that all connects.
Right.
You
Hmm.
even look at like a Kendrick Lamar, the all right. It's like, you talk about movement music and what hip hop is supposed to be, it comes from that, but people don't know that
Hmm.
connection. They
Right.
don't even they
Hmm.
don't even take understand that. And
Hmm.
I think that's why it's bigger for me with music. Like I love lyricism and messages in music instead of just the party and the turn up. It's like
Right.
I love the messaging, and because that's, to me, that's what hip hop is supposed to be. You're supposed to
Right.
be the voice. You're supposed to be the soundtrack to the movement. It's not just
Hmm.
supposed to be all we turned up at the club and all that foolishness. So
Hmm. Okay, well-rounded young man. I love
thank you.
that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I love that. So,
Thank you.
what would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions with journalism? Like, what do you
Um,
feel artists specifically
is
misconstrue about your role?
I think they think it's easy because anybody could be a journalist now. You don't have to get a degree. You could get on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and start putting up tweets and blogs and share your opinion. Now you're a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
Or you get on a podcast and talk about you don't like women and a high
Right.
value man and all this foolishness. Now you're a journalist. And these people
Mm-hmm.
have no credentials, didn't go to school, never written an article, don't
Mm-hmm.
know nothing about journalism. All they people did was give them a mic. And so I think that's what the misconception is. It's easy, it's all gossip, it's all, theater. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
people like, me and people that I rock with that really come from writing and, really putting in the work to be a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't even know what AP style is. They
Mm-hmm.
don't. What's that? These
Mm-hmm.
people don't even know that. So I think we just come from a whole different cloth, and I think that speaks to my integrity when it comes to journalism.
Mm-hmm. So you think that can still somewhat be the same type of misconception with media and kind of being in charge of the behind the scenes that they probably also think is
Yeah,
easy, or you think that
they think it's easy.
like they think
They
it's like
don't.
work? Mm.
Yeah, they don't know the work that it takes to get to it. And then now you don't have to write. So it's all about talking now. So you can literally say anything, you know. But a lot of these
Mhm.
people, media training, people don't know what that is. They're not even familiar with it because
Mhm.
it's cool to be unmedia trained now because it's all about clickbait and
Mhm.
the titles and stuff. That's the whole game now.
Mhm.
So
Do you feel like that has possibly like maybe caused what you do more challenging, or
yeah,
is it more
because
convenient?
I think it's more challenging because you have
Mm.
you have to separate the real from the fake. Like they kind of lumping us all together. you know. Like, shout out to Carisha, shout out to Young Miami. But Carisha, please, she's not a journalist.
Right.
She's not a journalist. But they will put her in the same conversation with
Category.
like
Mhm.
yeah, with like I mean, I even say a Charlemagne is more of a journalist than her, or Don
Mhm.
Lemon, these people that really do it. So
Mhm.
it's like you putting these people in the same conversation where they come from totally two different backgrounds. So I think that's what's going on now. A lot of people lumping us together and think it's all the
Mhm.
same when it's
And that's
not.
in every sector though. It seems like that's in
Yeah,
comedy, that's in music, that's in I even
yeah,
see it in real estate. It's like
yeah,
all of a
yeah,
sudden he guru teaching classes. He ain't been in real estate 3 years.
yeah, yep, yep,
It's like what
yep.
the world is teaching classes? So
Do
yeah.
do
Hmm.
TikToks, do TikToks and real estate now they moguls.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's really strange. It's a strange world we live in. I gotta tell you, I ain't gonna go too much. I ain't get on topic, but and that's why I asked you that because it seems like there's a lot of that going on. And then you have those situations where, to your point, you got somebody that got 10, 20 years in it. They on the bottom of the list.
Yep.
But this person don't even understand what
What they-
journalism is, but because they
so
got the followers,
mm,
now they at the top of the list. And
yep.
so it becomes a thing where it's kind of like a lack of respect, you
That's
know,
it. That's it.
for yeah, it's kind of it's I'm about to say kind of is actually pretty disrespectful.
Super disrespectful.
Yeah, it's pretty disrespectful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's ask you this. So, do you feel like success doesn't always equal fulfillment?
Yeah, it can be. I think so because they talk about celebrities who billionaires, sad. you
Very,
know.
very
Well,
unfulfilled. Hmm.
yeah. But I think that speaks to a lot of back to the integrity and what you do with your money, how much money you want to do. You want to be a billionaire because it's cool? Do you want to be a billionaire and like Bezos' wife, she gives back like all the time. She just get
Hmm.
money and just throw it, give it away. So what do you want to do it for? What do you
Hmm.
want to attain this money for? And then like I said, giving back, because a lot of those people that probably sad, they have all the millions of dollars, but a lot of them probably aren't back in their areas giving back and doing
Hmm.
school drives or creating something where the kids can go to and get out the
Hmm.
streets and stuff like that. So I think
Hmm.
they're consuming their time with just sitting around and being cool and being celebrity. Take some of that money and give it back. That's my
Hmm.
opinion. But I think
Hmm.
it's just about what goal. Like I don't want the billion. I probably 100 million, 50 million. I'm cool because I feel like
Fine.
the billion is just like it's too much. It becomes too much.
But my philosophy is that I don't want the fame.
Yeah. See, I
Yeah, I
don't
have
want
no
that either.
interest in becoming famous.
Me
Like if
either.
I
But
had to just take it just a step forward and really a notch down, like I can care less to go viral. You know what I'm
me either.
saying? Like it's just like I'm not. I just have no interest in that.
I agree.
It'll be. I'll probably be more happier for the guests.
Right.
Whose interview went viral more so than I would be because I just had no interest in that. And
I
that's
agree.
kind of where that question comes from because there's so much that comes from what we consider success, fame, you know what I'm saying? The name and lights. And a lot of us, especially when it don't come from good stuff and we lack
Mhm,
integrity.
mhm.
Um, and we're broken, wounded. Like a lot of people are getting into this game and getting this money and fame and they're broken. And so
Yep.
as opposed to, like and get into it with no therapy or no reconciliation. So all the fame and hype and glory it's just a front because it really does nothing for the inner core man,
Mm,
and that's why I asked that question because we can have all the goals and I hear you say the Grammy and all this and that. And like,
mm,
okay, and then you get that and then what?
right.
And
Yeah,
I think
right.
you have expressed in many ways that what your plan will be and what
Right.
your then what will be. Because that's important. Um,
Mm,
even share with my son, he's been in business since he was 12. He's 18 now, and just understanding that, okay, have these goals, have these desires, have these dreams, but also make sure you got things in place so that okay, I'll accomplish that, then what? And that don't mean keep running, don't rest. That just
mm.
mean make sure that you're staying, and I don't really identify too well with the word humble, so forgive me. But and I'm big on words, and so, but
Right.
just make because but at the time you make sure that you stay grounded.
Right. I
Stay
feel that.
grounded. Never forget who you are, whose you are. And a
Mm,
lot of people get those opportunities. They don't know whose they are, who they are,
mm,
and it becomes more of a scandal than success because then people just sit on these journalists on the sideline making a whole mockery of you because
right.
they done found your mother. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Or they done found your baby mother. And so,
Right.
it's important that and for me on this platform that when I run into people as us, right, black and
Mm,
brown, that I can see driven and passionate, and regardless of whether they're there, close, or far away, that I kind of, because that's my way of kind of, okay, so what is that to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, because
right.
you
Right.
gotta know that that should be something that's also a part of the thought process of
Hmm.
becoming bigger and famous or wealthier. Like, understand that I can separate this. I can be successful and still approachable, right? I can
Right.
be famous or wealthy and still not forget about my community. So I just be having these little ways where I'm asking questions, but I'm really trying to put something on your mind, in the media after the interview and stuff. That's just kind of how I do it. Okay,
I
I ain't gonna hold you
appreciate
too
that.
long. I'll be trying to get good. I'll be on here for 3 hours sometimes. I'll be like, let me let these people go. And so, yes, I want you to finish some sentences. Let's do that. I think this is a
Okay.
pretty big deal for me. I think
Okay.
people get a lot out of these. Okay, so I'm just gonna start a few sentences and then you're gonna finish them. Okay. The moment I found my purpose was.
When I went to that trip with my cousin, that New York
Mhm,
trip,
mhm, mhm.
that's when I found my purpose. You know,
People see my work, but they don't see.
the the um the pain, the work, the, what I had to do to get there, the preparation, um the when it didn't work, when
Mhm,
I've done interviews, no audio, all video.
mhm, mhm,
Done a long hour interview, great interview, big artist, no sound.
mhm,
They don't know. They
mhm,
don't know.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
The biggest lesson I've learned in media is.
um I would say the biggest lesson I learned is always treat the ones that you knew before you got known, treat them the same. So
Mhm,
keep those relationships and relationships. That's really what the whole gist is.
mhm,
Relationships are very important.
mhm,
Keep those relationships, you know, you know, give back to people. If somebody did a favor for you, try to return that favor in some way,
mhm,
and just keep those relationships. I think a lot of my whole journey is built off people that rock with me. Even
mhm,
I do PR, so I've had clients or artists I work with didn't show up to interviews, but
mhm,
most people would charge or be upset, but because they were associated with me, it's like I rock with you so much, it's all good.
mhm,
Whereas the same people might not get that, because of the
mhm,
relationships and the way that I
mhm,
pour into people as much as they pour into me, and
mhm.
the way I support people. So keep your relationships.
Right, because those relationships are going to get you there and keep you there. That's kind of how I look at it, right?
Yep.
Um, just based on something you just said, do you feel that your sense of compassion to help you find yourself being taken advantage of often?
Not really. It just I think maybe early on, but not really now. I think
Okay.
because I'm just super self-aware too. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
why I said I've had it, but not nothing too crazy because I'm
Mm-hmm.
just super self-aware.
Right. Well, that's good.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm trying to it's about the money now. It's money talk
Right.
now.
Mm-hmm.
So
Seriously. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's different now. It's not gonna be as much. It's gonna be very hard for that to happen these
Mm-hmm.
days. Um, so yeah, I think it's the money. The money game. You gotta book a constellation call. That's what they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Consultation call.
Mm-hmm.
Consultation call. So
Mm-hmm. The black community deserves.
it deserves love. It deserves understanding. It deserves reparations in some way, some form, and it deserves therapy. That's what it deserves.
Mm-hmm.
Therapy. Yeah. Well, that's how I feel.
One thing we need to stop normalizing is specifically in music,
In
whether it's
music,
media, PR, artists. What is the one
uh,
thing that you think that we need to stop normalizing?
um, putting all our business on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Keep some stuff, keep a secret. Learn to be a mystery. That's what I tell people. You look at like Kendrick Lamar, never see him, never around. We don't know what he's doing. He's a mystery. So when he
Mm-hmm.
does come out, when he does drop an album out of nowhere, it's a shock value because people aren't expecting it. If
Mm-hmm.
you Because I think, consistent, yes, be consistent, but I think if you're too consistent, like if you're doing quantity over quality, it's
Mm-hmm.
so expected and it starts to sound the same. Now we
Mm-hmm.
get bored. Now we don't really care if you dropped the album last week and you drop one this week. We don't care. But if
Mm-hmm.
you disappear for a little bit and you have some gaps, now I'm not expecting it. So once I get it, it's a surprise.
Yeah, now you have my undivided attention.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So I
I've been
think that
waiting.
exactly.
Hmm.
And
As
I think
opposed
that
to now, I'm kind of tired of hearing you and seeing you. You ain't really talk about that no more. Now that I unfollow. Hmm.
exactly. So
They
I
say
think
there's this running thing. I don't know how true it is. I try not to quote and
mm,
reshare stuff on Instagram, but I hear a thing where they say Denzel Washington says to Michael B. Jordan, like stop being on social media so much.
yep,
Why would they want to go see you in the movie theaters? They can see you on social media every day. Again, not sure how true that is, but that's pretty profound because that's pretty much what you're saying.
yeah,
Right? Especially when it comes down to a certain type of career choice. Yes, you want
hmm
to be consistent, but to your point, you can still keep some stuff to your chest. That you
yep,
ain't gotta tell your whole story. You ain't gotta tell all your business just because you're trying to be consistent. You can
right,
switch up the content a little bit, right? It ain't gotta be
right,
all about what you're saying and where
right,
you at and what you're doing. Right.
right.
I get that. I get that. I
Yes.
mean, personally, I think that with social media is so oversaturated. Like I
Mm.
honestly don't even like showing nothing. Like if it ain't let's talk about it with April,
Right.
that's the interview and
I get
maybe
it.
something with real estate. I don't even really like. I'm not about to
Mm.
show you what me and my husband eating. I'm not about to be and no
Right.
shot at nobody. I'm just talking
Right.
about. I just
I get what you're
understand
saying.
that, and it's not from the perspective of I don't want to oversaturate my viewers. It's just that I actually have a life that I would like to keep outside of this.
Mm.
And so, you know what I'm saying? That's it. No shot at nobody. I enjoy, what I'm saying? You showing me your life and what you're doing. I'm just saying that because I think this thing is a beast
Right.
that was created, right? And I think it's just going to become more and more impulsive and
Mm.
going to require more and more of us,
Mm.
right? And so
Mm.
we don't find a way to have a sense of balance, is what I'm hearing.
Mm.
You can lose yourself on social media, and then
Exactly.
you'll lose yourself trying to find yourself, and all for the gram. So I
Yeah.
definitely get. I
Yeah.
think that's actually wisdom, um, for sure. That's wisdom. Let's see. If you can leave one message to the next generation, what would it be?
Um. Do what you want to do. Stay consistent. Move with integrity. And even if you wanted to do something that isn't considered cool, still do it. Be you. Be yourself because yourself is cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Dare to be, dare to be different. Just. I always was the different person, and I just loved it because it just made me so much more interesting.
Mhm.
Whereas with other people that were the same, or you hung with this crew, or you did this, it's just so typical.
Right.
So always be something different. That's my goal, and that's my message to the youth.
So would you say that economic empowerment is just as important as social justice?
Yes, and I think it meets in some way too.
Mm,
It meets because you know, I think these people that have this money, they should try to, somehow give back to this social justice, or, be with us, walking with us in these marches, and
mm-hmm.
have some type of impact. That
Right.
was a big talk during the George Floyd movement too, because
Mm,
they talked about Kendrick and J. Cole, who said it for the culture, but they weren't out there. And then I
mm-hmm.
think J. Cole did a walk, and I think Kendrick may have did a walk or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but that was like a big thing. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, y'all talk about this in the songs, but y'all aren't really, you
Right.
know, on front face and really outside, as the young people say, outside. Y'all really weren't
Mm-hmm.
outside doing the work. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think if you have the economics, you should pour back some way into the social justice movement and really help us get to where we're trying to, go.
Right. Right. Because we want to go fast, go alone. We want to go far. We got to go together.
Right,
And so that's kind of what I'm hearing. Okay, we spend so much time celebrating talent, right?
right.
But I don't feel that we celebrate, or should I say, spend enough time building character. What
Mm,
do you say to that? Because the
mm,
industry you're in is all about celebration,
ooh,
braggadocious, you know. So what are your feelings on that? We spend a lot of time celebrating,
mhm,
but we don't spend enough time with the character adjustments and the
mm.
critiquing of self and things like that.
I think that's our downfall in some ways.
Mhm.
Because you look at the growth of artists, and you talk about character. Some of these people have character flaws that you don't see later on, or you didn't know. I mean, people. It was always rumors about Diddy, but it's like now Diddy is like it's a scary thing. People don't want to touch it.
Mhm.
Whereas one point in time, he was somebody. He was the one. He was
Mhm.
the hype. So I think it just speaks to the culture, and I think we're in that era now where they're exposing a lot of stuff. So a lot of
Mhm.
these people we thought was this and that, this stuff is coming out now. So
Right.
now it's scary. It's a scary time. So if you did some wild stuff back in the day and you thought it was gonna be all cool and you get to, be on your islands and all of that, now it's coming to the forefront. So
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
speaks to character. But I think
Right.
that's gonna be important later on because we're gonna get all of those people out the way. And
Mhm.
now people are gonna have an edge on their shoulders when it comes to character
Mhm.
because now people are watching you. It's
Different
not
lands. Yeah.
it's not cool to be back in the day, underage girls being on video sets was normal. That's kind of like crazy now. Somebody saw
Mhm.
that, it'll be all over the internet. So it's like
Mhm.
I think that kind of helps because now we're doing the right things because we have another lens on us now. Now we're being
Mhm.
watched. So
Mhm. Is that part of your mentorship? Do you find yourself kind of talking to the artists and kind of letting them know about character and kind of like touching on different things
mhm.
about how they carry themselves, and because your IG, your TikTok is your new resume,
Yeah, yeah,
and so
yeah,
you find yourself having to play that role, like that big brother role. Like, I
yeah.
know, I get it, I get your storytelling,
Right.
I get your stage presence, but you might want to be mindful of this or be
I've
considerate of that. You
definitely
find yourself doing that a lot.
definitely done it many a times. I've had to make phone calls, take that off. I've
Mm-hmm.
done it many a times,
Mm-hmm.
and even as a kid, I had that done to me too. So it's even with myself, just me being in the space, I have to watch, what I put out there too. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, pass that along as well too.
Right.
Yeah,
Because sometimes we can get caught up in the hype of the business, right? The numbers and
happens
the
all the time.
opportunities, and and then we forget. Okay, hold on. Let's just talk about you for a minute. You
Right.
know, even the whole mental health thing, right? How you
Hmm.
feeling about that? Like, especially if it ain't going too well, or
Hmm.
something that came up. So I think that's important. You give me the impression that it's never just all business for your
No.
artists. That I can see you kind of being that big brother, and
Right.
not just this PR manager or whatever.
Right, right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I try to, I give game, but I also tell people this too. Just in this business, you can kind of give it, but a lot of people might not receive it, and
Right.
all I can do is give it, especially if we're in a PR role, because I'm not your manager. So all I'm doing is just
Mm,
I'm booking things, booking appearances for you. If you don't listen, I can't really, all I could do is give it to you. If you don't want to do, because
mhm,
at the end of the day, you're paying me to promote something that you want done. So you have to,
mhm.
this is what you want done.
Right.
It's not a me thing. This is all about
Mhm,
you. So if you don't put the work in, or you mess up, or you show up late, that's on you. That's not
mhm.
really on me. Because at the end of the day, like I told you, I still had these relationships, you know.
Right.
So it
Well,
just
they
kind
say
of
you can
on you.
take the horse to the well, right?
Yeah,
But
can't make
you
them drink.
can't make them drink. Yeah. Yeah. I just thought about this question. What you said. Do you find? Well, I ain't trying to get you in trouble, so let me reword it. um, Over time,
Hmm.
you're 10+ years into this. Do
Hmm.
you often run into people just don't want it that bad? Like they want it, but not as bad?
Woo,
Because of all because somebody can want it and write all night and go
woo,
live rapping all day, but when it comes down to
woo,
the business, right? They say
woo,
working in the business and on the business. You you,
woo,
you find it really difficult for people to work
woo,
on the business?
woo, all the time. Woo, I can just think of some stuff. I didn't seen it all. So yeah, I didn't. Whew. Yeah, a
Mhm.
lot of people, like you said, they don't really want it that bad because you don't want to be consistent. You don't want to work. You don't want to do the quote unquote uncomfortable thing. Oh, I don't like to talk to people. Hey, let's go to this networking event. I don't like to talk. You don't want it that bad. You
Mhm.
playing. You out here playing. We not playing. We trying to really get to something. Stop
Mhm.
playing. You know what I'm saying? We really trying to focus and get to where we trying to get to. So
Mhm.
I've ran into it, but like I said, now I'm better at vetting people. So I don't really fool with
Vetting.
it. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't really fool. If you playing and you joking, I really kind of, I
Like
don't really.
a zero tolerance policy now, right?
Yeah, super, super. Because I didn't have
Yeah.
people tell me they sing, and I'm like, okay, let's hear something. Oh, I don't have no records. What are you doing?
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
I'm gonna go to the
'Cause you
studio
can't
next
allow
year.
people to waste your valuable time because
Right,
of a dream they claim they're holding on to.
right. That's
Mhm.
why it is with the rapping. Like I said, I've done it, but I don't have any records. So I would never run around and say I'm a rapper
Right,
because
right.
I don't have no records to show. Now I do want to eventually come out with some, build a project, do something,
Okay.
but I want to take my time with it because I have
Right.
a point to prove. I don't want to just
Throw
rap
something out
and
there.
yeah, throw
Mhm.
something out there. Didn't write, didn't have no concept. So I want to have a whole concept, whole rollout. I do PR, so my rollout
Right.
should be crazy. I should have the
Mhm.
best rollout in the world. So I kind of want to do that, but I don't go around saying I'm a rapper because I don't
Right.
have any records. I have nothing to show for it. Just because I've done a little freestyles on Instagram and people seeing it. Because I've had that happen recently.
Mhm.
Because I did a
Mhm.
freestyle for my birthday and I did one on the Trash Bars segment. So people like, yo, I didn't know you could rap.
Mhm.
People trying to get features. Like, I don't rap.
Mhm.
Let's pipe down
Right.
because I don't have the credentials.
Right.
So
Right. Which
yeah,
is to
just
your point. That's why you want to do it right and take your time and prepare yourself. Shout out
Mhm.
to Tygo because he mentioned
Yo,
what I
he's
can
art.
remember in the interview about how
He's
at one
dope.
point he didn't want to do interviews. He wasn't really big on it, just kind of the
Hmm.
forefront, this, that, and the third. And he said something which is to your point of what you just made. He was like, he realized you got to do it,
Yeah.
And so shout out to him. And I thoroughly enjoyed him. Thank you so much for that referral.
Yeah,
I
he's
thoroughly
he's
enjoyed that interview with
he's one
Dave.
of my favorite clients, man. He's very
Mm,
consistent, and he's somebody that, since I've been working with him, like we just talked about, not playing. Like he's very
mm,
consistent, and he wants it. He's doing his own content. He's
mm,
showing up to interviews super early. He really wants it, and I just love his work ethic before anything, before
mm.
music or anything. I one of my favorite clients. I would never not take a job from Tygo. If he hit me up,
Shout
yo,
out to
I,
Tiger. That's
he's
what's
dope.
up. I love
Yeah, he's
that.
dope.
I love. They say let another man praise you, right? I love
Right.
that.
He's
That's
dope.
what's up. That's what's up. And so that's the vetting process, right? Like how consistent are
Right.
you, right?
Right.
Because some people are doing it, waste your time, and it's just like, it's ain't nobody got ain't that much time in a day to be sitting around with somebody that's playing around, right?
Not at all.
Right, I got you. I'm gonna get you out of here. I promise you. Okay, I got a few more finished sentences, and I'm gonna let you know, make some announcements. Okay, okay, here we go.
Okay.
People know C.D.O.T, but they
Mhm.
don't know.
I guess they don't know Charlton. That's my government name. I think some do. I mean, friends, family, some do. Some people, and then there's some people that probably weren't in the media space that are like a part of my circle or my village that I've added to the media space just because of what
Mm,
I do. Even like someone like, I'm a part of In the Mix podcast. Shout out to Lauren. That was a friend of mine. And the way we all got on there, somebody told me about the podcast. They were looking for guests. I signed up. I sent it to her just on some homie stuff because that's my
mm,
homie. I'm like, yo, sign up and see if you get in that joint. And then
mm.
we just ended up. Now we're a part of In the Mix, and now people know
Wow.
us. But that's a friend of mine that I've been having. We've been friends for like 5, 6 years. So
Mm,
that's somebody, like I said, that probably wasn't really in it. She has her own business. Shout out to Made a Brand, but she wasn't in this, music,
right.
industry space. And now she's a part of it, and she already was a part of my village.
Mm,
So, yeah. So yeah, I think a lot of people don't know Charlton. And I think that's what I'm working on now, doing these interviews, kind of building that personal
mm.
brand a little bit, because
A
like I
little
said, I don't
bit.
want to be too personal.
Yeah, yeah.
But and I think the rapping too, like the project that I'll create will get more personal too.
Mm,
So I think
mm,
people will kind of get to know who I am from that.
mm-hmm. All right, let me get a few more. I became the man I am because.
I would say my mom, father figures, um, my village. I think just my village. That's just to be simple. Had a lot of
Mhm.
father figures, had a lot of women around too. And I think they really shaped me. The barber shop was a very big role in my life too. Shout out to my barber. So it's like I think that kind of shaped me into who I am.
Mhm.
All those different,
Help cement. It helps
right.
cement. Hmm.
It
Hmm. Okay. The greatest accomplishment isn't.
isn't or is.
Isn't.
The greatest accomplishment isn't. What isn't the
And
greatest
this and
accomplishment?
this is and this is something that you may share with your audience or your clients,
Mhm,
right? Because there's a huge misconception in this whole music industry. And so
mhm.
if this is the way of you trying to just keep it simple, and it's like, okay, you need to understand that the greatest accomplishment isn't.
I think it isn't fame. That's what I think. Because fame, we just talked about it. Once you get super famous, you literally can't do regular stuff. You can't go to the movies and all these regular stuff that you're
Mhm,
privileged to do right now. You might not be able to do when if you want
mhm,
to get to that, Beyonce level, Jay-Z
mhm,
level. These people can't go to, eat somewhere regular and just sit down. Nobody
mhm.
bother them, be on
Right.
their phone. So
Mhm,
I just think it's just privilege with that because I've heard I'm a big Michael fan, so I've been watching all these interviews about Mike, and he would put on these disguises just to do regular things because
mhm,
he's been famous his whole life since he was a kid.
mhm.
So he didn't even it's stuff that we're doing that we have a privilege of doing. He's never even
It
done.
doesn't, it never done.
And
Mhm,
he died and still didn't do it. So
mhm.
I think the fame that people are desiring, once they get it, they're not going to be as happy with it.
Right, because they don't know what they're signing up for.
exactly.
Mm,
You know, especially being a man too, and in rap, and you want to wear jewelry, you got to worry about getting robbed, all that type of stuff that
yeah,
regular people don't really have to. You know
have to
what I'm
worry
saying?
about.
Worry about. So,
What moment that you had that changed your life forever?
mm,
This could be a high or low.
that changed my life forever. When I was in middle school and high school, I actually had concussions from middle school to high school. So I had three
Mm,
concussions. So I played basketball. First one was an accident, then the other two were basketball injuries, and it just changed my life. And but I think what it did is kind of put that battery in my back to get back to
mm,
where I was at. And I think, speaking to consistency and all of that, once I really got into this media space, it was like, yo, now I'm really doing my thing. So yeah,
mhm,
that was my next thing.
mm.
No,
Is there anything that you haven't healed from?
haven't healed from.
Hmm.
Probably some grief stuff. Yeah, probably some grief stuff. I lost a cousin um about a couple months ago that I feel like I haven't healed from.
Oh,
And
my
then
condolences to you.
thank you. And even some celebrity deaths that really
Mm,
like people call me. People I haven't heard from me in years call me when certain people, passed
mm,
away that I haven't, I probably still haven't dealt with because to me those people were very important to me,
mm,
you know. Even like a Kobe Bryant. Like I was the big like
mm,
the reason why I love sports is because of Kobe Bryant. Like he's probably
yeah,
my biggest, not just basketball person, sports, period. That's the
mm,
first person I think. Nipsey Hussle, stuff, people like that. It's like, dang,
mm,
these are people that when I got into this media game, when you write down who you want to meet, who you want to interview,
mm.
those are
Top
two
of the
people
list.
top of the
Mm,
list. Those two guys were my guys, especially Kobe. So yeah,
mm.
I think grief.
Fatherhood made me realize.
Um, that I could be that I have a soft spot, that I could be
Mm,
vulnerable. Yeah, because I think I
mm.
like I have more of a tough,
Tough guy.
persona.
Mhm,
Yeah, so that's kind of like my only like vulnerable
mm,
safe place. So
mm.
yeah.
Good for you. You need that.
Right.
We all need
Right.
that. Yeah.
We all do. We all do.
What is the biggest risk you've ever taken in this business?
Risk. Ooh, I didn't spend money with people and didn't get none out of
Like
it.
recruit.
It's
Mm,
it's a it's a lot of people that owe me money, and we talking about I done big opportunity stuff for them, booked interviews
mm,
all the way in Atlanta for them. Now,
mm,
luckily, back to relationships, I still connected with those people,
mm.
but I didn't get paid for that, and I was
But you got
supposed
that
to.
intellectual property though.
Right. But I was supposed to though. Like it's
Yeah.
people that still was supposed to pay me for certain stuff, and it was on some like, oh, this is an opportunity to meet this. So yeah, I'm gonna
Hmm.
take it, but it was no contract. It wasn't nothing written down on paper for me to get paid. But
Mm,
never got paid. So yeah, that's the biggest risk. I didn't take a risk like that or paid for stuff that people tell you, yeah, we're gonna do this for you, gonna do that. You send me this, I got
mm,
you. Send me this, you're gonna be at Atlantic Records tomorrow.
mm,
I've been through it all.
mm. What is one thing you refuse to compromise?
My integrity. My integrity. I'm not certain stuff I'm not doing. Now people can do it, but it's certain stuff that I'm not doing. It's just certain stuff I just wouldn't do. And
Mm.
I ain't gonna never change that.
If you lost everything tomorrow, you would still have.
My intelligence, my creativity, my integrity, and my morals.
Mhm.
I'll be able to
That's a
make
hell
some
of
shake.
a. Mhm.
I'll be able to make some shake. I still got the credentials and I still got the
Right, right,
resume.
right, 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 right.
So
Exactly.
some gonna shake.
If there's one thing you wish someone would have taught you when you were younger, what would that have been?
Um, I wish somebody would have taught me.
And that could be
Hmm.
in general, business or personal. Something you wish you would have learned as a child.
I wish I would have learned as a child. I think as a child, I was way more nicer. Like I was way more, giving my heart out. Being more
Mm,
open. And I think I wish I would have had more guidance with that. Because now I feel, like I'm not doing that, off bat. That takes a little while for me to do that,
get
open
to
up
that
or
space. Mm,
right. And I think I wish I would have learned that, as a kid because I was just, when you're a kid, just
wide
happy, just
open.
free.
Uh huh.
Right.
Save the world
Thinking,
type of.
right. Exactly. Can't save
Mm-hmm.
everybody. You be thinking of.
Mm-hmm. So, what is the advice you would give to a young black man if he sat before you that were having challenges with finding his purpose?
Um, I would tell him to find out what are his morals and integrity. What does he believe in? And just really push that. But you have to search that, find that.
Mm,
Don't just be out here because some people just be out here living. What do you want to do in life? What do you want to accomplish? I talk to young men all the time and people,
mm-hmm.
just even in the industry, it's young rappers that I try to help. And even we talk about having a job. And some young rappers, they just want to rap and they don't got no income. So it's like, yo,
Mm,
let me fix your resume up for you. Let me take you to
mm,
job fairs. Like I'm that type of guy. Cause
mm,
it's like, yeah, this rap game is cool. It's cool, the videos, the music videos, you dancing, the girls. But if you ain't really, making no money from it, you
yeah.
just gonna you might not make it. Or I try to push college. Like there's some rappers that just want to rap, but it's like, no, you smart enough, go to college. Why
Mm,
not? I did it. You could do it too.
mm-hmm.
So I would tell him to find his purpose and really push that purpose and stay consistent with that and move with integrity. Don't follow the trends. Don't try to be a follower, be a leader. Because I've
Mm-hmm.
always been that. I hate followers. I super hate
Mm-hmm.
followers.
Yeah.
Super hate them.
That's kind of a little pet peeve of mine,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Think it's the
I
I'm a Aquarius too. So they say we
I'm
super
an
super
Aries, go figure. So,
they say we super leader, super hate to follow, hate to trend.
mhm.
So
I got like three more, maybe two. The
okay.
hardest truth that you've ever had to accept was what?
Um you could be in this game for 10 years and not make no money from it,
Mm,
no revenue. It don't just, the people that would say, just go viral and all like
mm,
that's rare. And then when you do your homework on these people that just went viral and just made all these money off that, a lot of them go broke. So
mhm,
maybe so now I'm looking at it like maybe I'm glad that that didn't happen because then I could be, on the side of the street, could be out
mhm,
here messed up. So it's a gift and a curse. But at first it was like, dang, like I'm out here really putting in work. They even did one little goofy song. Now they lit,
mhm.
So I used to be discouraged at first, but now it's like, nah, I wanna get to that,
Want
get to
that
that point.
longevity? Mhm,
Right, right.
mhm, mhm. The thing that keeps you grounded the most is what?
That I haven't made it yet. I think that's what
Mm,
keep me grounded. Like I haven't got to that point yet. So I have no reason to just be chilling.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm,
I ain't made it yet. So that's what I think keeps me grounded and keeps me super locked in. Is like, nah, I ain't made it yet. I'm
mhm.
still, I'm still where I'm at. So yeah, I think that's what keeps me grounded and keeps me focused.
All right, so last one.
Mm.
I'll end with this. What is one of the greatest lessons an elder left with you that helped you to maneuver the way you do in your community, within your business, and within your personal relationships? Is there like a gem or some jewels that an elder left with you that were just that impactful,
Mm,
directly or indirectly, right?
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think with a lot of my elders, I think I just studied them more than just got game. Just how they
Mm-hmm.
treated women. How they
Mm-hmm.
just how they moved. Their integrity. Even today, it's certain stuff like I said I don't do or I wouldn't do just because my OGs, my elders wouldn't do. There's
Mm-hmm.
certain stuff that I wouldn't do because my granddaddy wouldn't do it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like I think a lot of more than gems and more than words, just their
Mm-hmm.
actions and who they were as people
Mm-hmm.
really made me want to be that or want to move that certain way. Or like it's certain stuff I wouldn't say or wouldn't, do on social media or the internet because my granddaddy gonna be like, hey, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So I always have that in the back of my brain. My Uncle Tony wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I? So that's just kind of always been my mindset. Yeah, I gotta really move a certain way and move with a certain type of integrity and morals just because of the way that they move. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important to have those examples.
Can I tell you that that means more than any gem that any elder
Yeah,
could have dropped on any young black man?
right, right.
Studying how they moved
Mhm.
and decisions they made and why.
Right.
And you understand how impactful that is? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, right.
that goes beyond a figure. That's an actual role
Model.
model.
Right.
And so now you see the model of this great man. So now I know how to move. I know
Mhm.
what I should and shouldn't do. And not just I know what I should, I know why I shouldn't do
Mm,
that. And I know
mm.
why I should. So can I tell you, young man, that what's gonna take you there is your integrity?
I appreciate
Your
that.
integrity is gonna take you there. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
Your integrity is taking you there.
Mm.
It's your integrity that's leading you. It's not your experience or credentials. I mean, it's doing its part. It's
Right,
your
right, right.
integrity. It is your level of integrity that have allowed you um, to maintain this long.
Mm.
It's your integrity that has allowed you in rooms that you probably wasn't even supposed to be in. You know,
Right,
those
right, right,
premature opportunities, right?
right.
Those unrequested opportunities. You
Hmm.
know, it's your integrity. It's your integrity. So God bless all the father figures and moms
Yeah,
and all
yeah,
the aunties and everybody that's a part of
yeah.
your stock and your village.
Mm.
Um, because in as transparent as I can get, you rare.
Okay,
You rare. You're rare,
appreciate that.
Jim. You
Okay,
know,
I
own
appreciate
that.
that.
Yeah, own that. Embrace that as you are. Right. I can
Right,
see
right,
that. And it's
right,
your integrity. It's your integrity. You're gonna be thanking God that you maintain your integrity.
right.
Because that is wow, I really feel what I'm saying to you. That
Right.
is I feel like that's the how do I want to describe it? You know how we have everything in a pot of stew, right? And it just takes that certain ingredient that that just give it that your integrity gives you that, like seriously, that and that's something you can observe from afar. And trust me, there are people in high places that are looking for young men with integrity. They're looking for young men with integrity, and you are that man. And so God bless you and everything that's coming to pass,
Thank you
and
so much.
everything that's coming down the pipeline. I'm not going to be surprised when I start seeing more of you and hearing more of you and seeing
Hmm.
some other things come to pass and manifest itself because I don't really want to use a term that sounds so cliche-ish, but there's a season like slowly approaching
Hmm.
where you're just gonna thank God for your integrity, that you maintain your integrity. And God bless everyone that's attached to you. Because I know, because you are their role model. You know what I'm saying? You're providing a
Indeed.
model, young man. Oh my God.
Indeed.
You're
Indeed.
providing. So I'm talking about even the ones that ain't that close and
Right.
don't know you that well. Like it's, and I like the fact that you want to do more podcasts and you want to kind of be a little more personal
Mhm,
because this part of you, it needs to,
mhm.
we, our community, to see the
Yeah,
caliber of young man you are. We
I heard
need
I've
to,
heard
we're
that.
starving for
I
a
heard that.
young man that's not just focused, that's not just bright, you know what I'm saying? But that has morals and principles and he refused to compromise. And you are in the most appropriate sector to be a role model of that. Because I'm in, because I can go all day because I'm just super passionate about this. Um, it, you know how many of us young black men want to move with more integrity, but ain't nobody else moving like that.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know, ain't nobody else moving like that. I'm not about to be the oddball. I'm not about to be, I'm
Right,
not
right,
about to
right.
be the no, no, I gotta blend in. And
Yeah.
some of them have the desire to, but they just can't find one
Mm,
that move like that. They can't find one. So they just
that's true.
maintain their appearance. They just blend in with the crowd.
That's
And
true.
but you're not you don't blend in. You're not supposed to blend in. You're supposed to stand out.
Mm,
And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for your now and I'm excited for your near future. I really genuinely am.
I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
So before I get all more personal, because I like I said, I can go on for days. But I appreciate the opportunity. Is there anything you want to announce that you're working on that's coming up?
What do
That
I
we should
have?
look forward to? I know you
I
got the
don't know.
interview um with
Yeah.
pressure, right?
Yeah, we did it. We did that. We did that yesterday.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, 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 okay.
Don't supposed to
I
say
thought I
that. It's
saw
come
that was
out.
like next week or something, but okay.
Nah, yeah. It come out, but next week.
Got
But we
you.
did it. Yeah, we already did it. So shout out to
Okay,
her.
okay. I got her coming up
Perfect.
too. Listen, I'm
Okay.
coming all through
Yeah.
with you.
Okay.
Stop playing. I'm
Yeah,
coming
that's
all
what's
through
up.
with you.
Yeah, I seen you had my boy Big No too. I'm sure you in the chat. Shout out to Big No. That
Hmm.
was like kind of my second campaign, Big No, and that was amazing to work with him. He's
That's what's
amazing.
up.
He's dope. He has a great story. That's somebody that also could be a mentor for the youth just because of his story alone. He
Yeah, he
comes from
is. He knows
he
it.
can,
He
yeah,
is. Hmm.
he comes from it. He real, he's solid, but he has a great story. And I think
Hmm.
he's a very important person when it comes to, making it and, still
Hmm.
being outside, but solid. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but I don't got nothing. I don't have anything. In the mix podcast, we should be back on air soon. I know we have brunch on broad coming up. Me personally, if you want to do a PR campaign, media training, you can email me, DM me, set up a consultation call. We can go from there. I don't have anything else coming up. I'm working on this company. I'm trying to start a PR music management company.
Okay.
So that's coming soon. Working on the logos and the LLCs for all of that. But yeah, I don't have anything coming up. Just you'll see me outside, networking, meeting people, doing what I do.
I know a few artists locally. Could you send me something that I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's something that you have, but you kind of send to just kind of introduce yourself on like maybe your
Okay.
packages or what you offer.
Yeah,
I
yeah. I could
definitely want to
definitely.
send you to share your
Yeah.
stuff with some of the artists that I know personally in the area and some individuals that I know that are really within the community of artists in the
Okay.
DMV area. I would definitely love to connect you with a few
Okay.
of those people, right?
I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you to you.
I
Thank you. I
appreciate you
appreciate
accepting. Well, I want, and I got a few plugs, few plugs, few plugs, few
it.
plugs. Okay.
Okay.
So if there's anyone looking for any investment properties in DC, Maryland, Virginia, Florida, or Georgia, that's
Okay.
Davis Development Group, you can reach out to me. If anyone looking for any rental properties, whether it's short term or long term, I need to add this because some people miss it, whether it's shared space. I'm really big into shared space. I always miss saying, I don't know how, but I'm even open to business with shared space. That's Air DDG. You can reach out to me. If there's anyone need any electrical service, whether it's residential or commercial, that is Sendell Systems, you can reach out to me. If anybody needs athletic apparel, definitely shout out to Rue. Go see him in
Mm,
Richmond. He got
okay.
it. He is
I
killing
need
the
some of
game right
that.
now. I'm
I
super
need some of
proud,
that.
super supportive of everything we're doing. But my little, I say my little, he's an 18-year-old young man now. And so he has his clothing brand, Be Empowered Clothing. He should have
Okay.
a new drop coming soon. That's Be Empowered at BE. That's CEO. That B Clothing. You can check him out on IG. Those are all businesses for us, by us. Thank you for your support. Like, share, and subscribe each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace.
Peace. Thank you.